are brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Monday, August 29th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 90. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of OTB Mailbag at 8:15, so get your questions in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. And Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins the show at 9 a.m. to talk Saints. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN. Or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz at Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in OTB. Tuesday, August 29, 2023. Hope everybody's having a great day. Happy Ahsoka Day to all those who celebrate. Happy one day closer to college football. Week 1 rolls right on, and we'll break down all of week 1 today. We'll talk about some of the things that Brian Kelly mentioned at the press conference yesterday. We'll continue to preview LSU versus FSU. We got a little OTB mailbag today, of course, like Marley Dad. We got Nick Underhill, some funny Jim Harbaugh and NCAA stuff, alligator stuff. I don't know. Look, we're going to run the gamut today like we do every single day.
Did you see that
Here on
alligator?
OTB.
My
Yep,
God.
Yep, that's a big boy. Whew. It's a big boy.
That thing had a pass.
I'll be speaking of some big boys here in segment number 1. But first, let me welcome in the boys. Jake, how are we feeling today?
I'm good. A little juice. Football season, football week. Yesterday I hosted with E.J. Manuel, who played quarterback at Florida State. And
How'd that go?
We had a nice spirited, because E.J.'s like the nicest fella ever, spirited debate like the last 30 minutes about the Florida State LSU game. So it was good. He feels very confident. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we've talked about this. This is a legitimate battle of a game. There's a reason why the spread is 2.5. If it's still holding at 2.5, I haven't checked in a couple days. Mari, how are we feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Excited for the weekend. Getting to do some high school this weekend. LSU opening the season. Good vibes.
What about you, Taylor? All well?
Yeah, doing good. A little tired this morning, but doing okay.
Okay, right on. Well, I hope that gets fixed for you.
How are you, T-Bob?
Doing great because it is week 1 of college football, and I'm excited to break down this weekend. And Brian Kelly was talking to the media yesterday, and he revealed a few things that I want to discuss. First off, and Taylor had kind of intimated this to us a bit, but Brian Kelly saying that Mason Smith would not have been healthy or more than likely would have been listed as questionable for the Florida State game. Now, that is one little interesting subnote here, is yesterday's press conference was the first of the codified injury reports that LSU will be doing, where on Monday and Thursday they will provide an injury report, and then before the game they will either put the final status as available or unavailable. I was also interested to learn that the Big Ten's actually going to be forcing their teams to do this as well. The 2 hours before kickoff, all coaches are going to be required to send a final availability sheet. So it's just a little side note there. If you're gambling on Big Ten football this year and you have injury concerns, wait until 2 hours before kickoff to place those bets, and you will know exactly who will and will not be playing. But Here's what Kelly said. Quote, let's be clear. We would love for Mason Smith to be playing in this game. He's an outstanding football player, but we were really pleased with the growth and development of our defensive line. And he would go on to talk about Jordan Jefferson, Jacoby Guillory, Jalen Lee, and then obviously Mekhi Wingo as well. And I feel like I've heard a lot of hype about Jordan Jefferson throughout this camp. And so this is kind of in keeping with that. The quote on Jalen Lee is pretty interesting. He says, the transfer from Florida has probably been one of the surprises of camp for us. He didn't have a great spring. He worked hard in the weight room. He does a nice job for us in terms of adding depth to the defensive tackle position. So as we try to paint the picture, right, you don't feel great about your secondary against their weapons going into this game, though. Maybe somebody surprises you. You lose Mason Smith, you felt like would have been crucial in terms of affecting the quarterback and maybe helping those DBs out. So now the next man up comes into question. We knew about Jacoby and Guillory, but I don't know that the average LSU fan is as familiar with the names Jordan Jefferson and Jalen Lee. So there's some guys to keep in mind.
I feel like they know Jordan Jefferson well.
Yeah, I know. As I was saying it, I could see the runway that I was laying down there.
And then you said Jalen Lee. I thought you were going to say Jarrett Lee.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Jordan and Jay Lee back, but in defensive line form.
That's right.
Reincarnated.
If you look at the depth chart, it says Jay Jefferson and Jay Lee.
Yeah.
Like a buddy of mine on Facebook posted the other day. He goes, I bet Kelly starts Jefferson, and if it doesn't work, he'll put in Lee in the second half.
I mean, I believe that. I believe that in in some versions of kind of the belief in reincarnation, right? How you live your life is based on what you're reincarnated as. And to go from quarterback to defensive line would maybe say that those two are paying for some sort of sins. Because it's not like coming back as like an animal, but it's definitely a downgrade from the status that you once had. So here's to hoping that this time around, they can do better, and then in 5, 10, 15 years, we get another version, only they're like wide receivers this time or something. But yeah, so Jay Lee and Jordan Jefferson going to be relied upon to make up for the absence of Mason Smith and really just to battle this Florida State team on Saturday. I
mean, I'm pretty sure he said Jalen Lee was one of the biggest surprises of camp in a positive way.
Yeah, he did.
And look, he's a player who's from here, local guy, and I remember him in recruiting like I'm sure most of you do, and he goes to Florida, and for whatever reason, that situation didn't work out for him. But, I mean, he's that kind of player, the player that has the option to go to LSU, go to Florida at a high school, and you went in the portal this year, and you realized you had an issue with depth, and so you went and got multiple guys because you still weren't sure how you're going to have a Mason Smith come back from ACL injury either. So you stockpiled all this depth behind him, and guys that played and guys that were experienced. Certainly Jordan Jefferson has the experience. He has more experience out there than Jalen Lee does, but you're going to need him because now you're going to have the ability, if you're Florida State, to look at number 18 and say, all right, we're going to double team this guy. We're going to make sure that the point of emphasis is that guy, and then that guy, Jefferson, Lee, Guillory, whoever it is, you've got to show us that you can beat us. And so you didn't have that luxury before. So even sometimes, and you know this as well as any of us, T, being an offensive lineman, it's yeah, that guy could dominate. Mason Smith could dominate, but also, if he got the attention, it could be Wingo. And if Wingo got the attention, it could be him. And you couldn't be right if you were an offensive line. Now that other player, whoever that might be, has got to go prove that you can't be right because they're going to slide everything, not literally slide everything, but all their focus is going to be on Mekhi Wingo.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get blocked one-on-one if you're one of these other guys, and you're actually perfectly set up to make a lot of plays, stack reps, NFL tape, the opportunity is massive here. I was talking to somebody at dance yesterday, and they framed kind of adversity like that, right? I mean, if there's a lot to be fixed about something, all that is there's a lot of opportunity. Okay, so losing Mason Smith sucks, but the way to frame it, if you're Jordan Jefferson, Jay Lee, or Guillory, is it's a lot of opportunity to put your best foot forward on the game that all NFL scouts will be watching.
Yep.
You go play well against that very talented Florida State offensive line, well, all of a sudden you're on radars that you just weren't on before. So make the most of this stage that you're being given here. Other things to note from the press conference. Aaron Anderson locked in to return punts and kickoffs, whereas Caleb Jackson will be the off returner on kickoff. So this makes sense for a couple of different. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes. It reminds me when you said off returner. My rookie year, you don't really know a whole lot. You're just trying to get noticed, and Sproles was our returner, and I was the off returner.
Yeah.
And I'd walk to the back line, kind of just walk back there, and so the announcer would be like, "And back returning number 22 Jacob Hester, number 43 Darren Sproles." Then I walked to my position. I was like, "Hey, you heard the announcer. Me and Sproles back here returning on kickoff."
Did you ever get one? Did they ever kick it away from him? Because that's the whole idea, right? You want to kick it away from Aaron Anderson, then you have to deal with the raw athleticism of Caleb Jackson, which we saw. And you don't need a pass block or anything to be a kick returner. So we saw just the sheer raw physical skill set out of Jackson on that swing pass that he took 80 to the house in the scrimmage the other day. That's what you're trying to tap into there if they want to avoid Aaron Anderson.
You have to be so much better than you were a year ago. Not only in this game, but certainly this game in the return game. Think about how bad you were on special teams, and you still went to the SEC championship game. I mean, you had last year against Florida State alone, you had 2 muff punts and 2 block kicks.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's points, that's possessions. And so, you just wanted somebody back there. I forget what game it was. Maybe y'all remember. There was a home game, and the punt returner caught the ball, and the entire crowd cheered and stood up because it had become such an issue. The Tennessee game, opening kickoff, probably didn't lose you that game, but I would have loved to seen starting the game a different way, any other way than what you did. And so it was such an issue. You had no threat in the return game. You just catching it was a chore. So the fact that you were going to return it at all was laughable. So imagine going from that to what they feel like what they have now. I mean, he talked about in the ESPN.com article how dynamic this player is and how it just looks completely different with him back there. And so a lot of times because of the rules, I wouldn't talk a ton about returner, but as we know, that can change the game. You played with a game-changer returner. I played. We both, Trenton Holiday, Tyron, you can go back and forth of guys that were just difference makers in the return game. And last year, it was such I really don't even know the word to put. I've said horrific. I've said awful. I want to come up with a bigger word because that's how bad it was. And now where you feel like you're at, just completely different.
Yeah, it was garbage. You go with
I like garbage.
The canon horrendous.
I like that one too.
Yeah,
see,
you always hear him, but horrific accomplishes a goal because I actually like horrific better than garbage, because it was scary in how bad it was. It was tough to watch. You needed to cover your eyes the same way that you do in a very horrific movie. And look, Aaron Anderson, that's one of the main reasons why you brought him in. So you should. There's no excuse. All of special teams have to be way better. With that in mind, Damian Ramos remains the place kicker, which makes a lot of sense to me. I thought last year he actually did pretty damn well. Wasn't asked to do a ton, but when he was, came through. Speaking of the injury report, Josh Williams should be good to go for Sunday. Armani Goodwin should not. Again, we'll look for another update on that on Thursday and then get that final number before the game. And another thing that some people were talking about yesterday is the storm moving in on Florida right now. Idalia, the tropical storm, expected to maybe make landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. That is supposed to hit tomorrow. FSU's campus is actually closed down tomorrow. They're doing dining services and whatnot, but no, I'm sure they're having practice of some sort, but no classes or anything. But it appears from everything that I've read, no one seems to really be worried about it affecting the actual game on game day. So if you're someone who's been wondering about whether or not the game will be canceled, there is nothing that would say that.
I remember practicing in 2005, the night before Hurricane Katrina hit, in the hours before, and we were the only people remotely close to campus. It felt like a zombie apocalypse, and it was so loud in the indoor, just wind, and it felt like trees were just slamming into the indoor. We had these makeshift lights that were kind of shining on the field.
Yeah, so I got to LSU obviously a couple of years after that, and what happens then is people like think back on those times and talk about what it was like, and kind of the read that I had always heard that just bottom line, Les didn't really know what he was getting into with hurricane season. Like, didn't think it was a big deal, and maybe pushed things a little too far, and that they would have done things differently with the knowledge that they later gained.
Yeah, I've told you my story of we were all back home going down I-49. I was the only non-emergency vehicle going south, and there was traffic from Shreveport to Baton Rouge, bumper to bumper. Ooh. From that that entire stretch was bumper to bumper, and I was the only. I got stopped so many times. I'm like, hey,
I got football practice.
Coach Nader called, and I got to get back.
That is so crazy. But so ideally, and obviously, hopefully, no major property damage, loss of life, anything like that in the storm. Does not look like it's going to affect the game on Saturday. All right, when we get back, I want to talk some LSU, FSU, and kind of specifically, I want to talk about how these teams mirror each other in so many different ways. You can get involved in the show, as always, youtube.com/1045ESPN. If you want to get involved in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, give us all your comments and takes, hang out with us for the next few hours. And then remember to subscribe to OTB Saints and OTB LSU if you want to help out the boys. We'll be back with more Off the Bench next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. Gordon's going to get it done for you in the courtroom. Getting it done for these athletes on the field by creating the G Team. A lot of your favorite athletes now members of the G Team. You can join them and benefit in the same way that we do. If you love learning about your favorite players, Beata McKay, Wingo, Mason Smith, whoever that may be, Harold Perkins, let's go follow Gordon McKernan on social media at Get Gordon, doing some incredible video work, interviews, getting to the inner workings of these players you're going to be cheering for every Saturday this fall. Go check it out. Remember, just 2 days left in that billboard contest. If you want to enter, all the instructions at Get Gordon.
Go to getgordon.com. On the website, you can have a chat with them. So any question that you might have can get answered there. You can find a full list of cases they can handle for you. Past client results, all there on the website. And always in Louisiana, put that area code before the 8s, 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a...
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll have Glenn West talking Tigers, Sharif Ishak on the Saints, and my guy Brandon Taylor from the LSU Sports Radio Network. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I just opened the chat, and the first thing I see are just plethora, a cavalcade of messages from our chat mom, Carly Woodard. I'm so excited. I followed all LSU sports all year, but this is different. Football's like treasure. It's a piece of my heart. And I'm absolutely ready to ruin the lives of FSU. That's all caps. And then followed it up with, I hope we ruin their lives. Hell yeah. There's only one. I hope we ruin exactly one life. And that's the little redhead kid from last year. Okay? Because never forget, kid, you can't spell FSU without the FU. And we're coming. Okay? You little punk. Hope your voice is changing. And you're feeling, I know, like, actually, puberty's awkward. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. It was a good get, and you nailed this. You just hope that we get revenge on you this year.
Dang, I thought you were going to go all in.
No, I felt bad because, like,
too close to home.
Well, 6th grade was just 6th and 7th grade, just like, for me, probably the most insecure time in my life. So,
Like, go get some proactive, kid.
But what's crazy is the number of redhead Florida State fans. Remember Red Lightning?
Oh, yeah.
He was like their ball boy or something back in like back when Jameis played. Remember he was running up and down the sideline? When you mentioned, you were like, yeah, the redheaded kid. I was like, wait a minute. I just remembered Red Lightning.
What if Red Lightning's a time traveler? I see you connected the same dots, Mario.
What if Red Lightning's like his dad?
No, yeah.
Because I don't know how old. I don't know how old this guy is. So
conceived during the championship season.
Well, how old was the kid?
Well, he looked to be about 8 or 9, but it would line up with Red Lightning's fame, right? Maybe Red Lightning got famous. Next thing you know, a little one-night lightning bolt turns into this little kid 10 years later talking trash. You can't spell LSU without the L. Punk!
A little charge, if you will.
I mean, look, to be fair, I do secretly kind of love that kid because we talked about making the most of an opportunity. He had one, and he nailed it, and he dismounted on all of our faces. And so I agree with Carly. I want to break his heart and all these Seminole fans' hearts coming up this weekend. Don't worry, this entire week, if you think I sound relatively calm today, I feel relatively calm, but it's going to be an ever-descending walk down the stairs into madness, right? As I go further and further into anger and emotion and adrenaline, but we'll keep it relatively chill here on this Tuesday. JS says, not sure what you guys are smoking yesterday, being so high on the Notre Dame quarterback. I mean, I think what I was smoking was 5 touchdown drives, 19 to 23 for 254 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, I don't know. That's what I was
444 yards of total offense.
Yeah, like
and again, like we said, he has a resume.
Yeah.
Like, he's got skins on the
straight
wall.
games to touchdown.
He's a 6-year player,
Yeah.
and he started a majority of that time. So it's not like you have a quarterback that goes out there against a bad Navy team and lights it up. And it's like, oh, well, what can he do next week? Well, we know what Sam Hartman can do the next week, and the next week. And so you just wanted to see if it worked in that uniform and that scheme with that system and those players. Well, first test, I mean, he certainly passed it. I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
Incredible performance by him. The best talent that he's ever had around him. I don't think we can argue that. Now, he's had, like, players. You know, he's had a Kenneth Walker. He's had an A.T. Perry, but he hasn't had, like, the totality. Like, he's got an All-American left tackle. Like, he's never had that before.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, look, we'll see what he does. Whatever. I want to talk about something that Wilson Alexander kind of touched on in The Advocate today, or might have dropped yesterday. But it mainly focuses on the transfer portal, right? And it just talks about how similar in so many ways this LSU and this FSU team are. And it's something that Brian Kelly touched on as well. Here's a little excerpt from the article. These teams reflect each other in multiple ways. They both won recent national championships. They went through rough patches and coaching changes. They both won 10 games last year. They both have a chance to break into the national title hunt for the first time under their respective regimes, and they both used the transfer portal to get there. And I would also say that they both are two teams that, if you look at last year and you played the game to this year, showed massive improvement. Like we talked about, last year was pretty sloppy. It was like watching one of those old 2003 bum fights video. Okay, this should be more like an actual heavyweight match that's like codified by the boxing commission, and it's in Nevada and Las Vegas and everything else. So the similarities are many. And you mentioned the transfer portal. This is pretty crazy. Think about, Jake. Both teams each have 20 transfers in the 2 deep.
Yeah.
20 for each team in the 2 deep, which is, 44 players?
Yeah.
So about half of your 2 deep roster for both teams made up of transfers. And it's wild to see them both use the portal that much, but then also use it as shrewdly as they have to both be thought of as highly as they are before the season starts.
Yeah, I agree. This one is commissioned by Vegas. The last one was in a backyard in Miami.
Yeah. Maybe it's like those backyard wrestling videos. Those are always kind of tight. It's like maybe a step. No, bump. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, that's what it was.
Hey, look, Kimbo Slice.
This was Kimbo Slice.
Yeah,
that's exactly what last year was. This is Kimbo Slice
fight. Yeah, that's wild about the transfers. I mean, obviously, you know the names and you can spout them off, but like to have almost half your 2DB transfers. But also for LSU, like they're going into this game with players that they're counting on, not the most, but pretty close to it, were so young last year. Will Campbell, Mason Taylor, Harold Perkins. Will Campbell and Mason Taylor played a lot in that game, but it was their first time ever out there in an LSU uniform. And so, like, what's their level of play going to look like compared to what it was a year ago? We've already laid it out. Harold Perkins played 11 plays, none on defense, all on special teams in this one. So you do have a ton of transfers, but LSU and some of their key players last year, true freshmen. And in this game, the players that you see on Sunday aren't going to look related to the players that you saw last year. I mean, remember, Mason Taylor, like, and I get it. It was his first game. He struggled a little bit. And they saw something. That's why they were trying to feature him and get him the football. And it was a true freshman performance. We all had those. And that was his first game, standalone Sunday night game. How much better of a player was he by the end of the year than he was in that first game? Will Campbell, same situation. He graded out as the lowest offensive lineman in this game a year ago. How much better is he at this point than just having Harold Perkins on the field? So, yeah, you do have a ton of transfers, but you've got some young players that did not get the opportunity to put their best foot forward in this matchup last year.
So what's interesting is I think Florida State would claim a lot of the same. I think maybe some of the differences, and to be fair, maybe this isn't 100% correct because I have not followed the Florida State depth chart from week 1 to like week 5 of last season, right? But LSU had pieces like you mentioned, Harold Perkins didn't even play in the game.
Yeah.
That would later be the most important piece of the team. Also, because LSU had such youth in that game, youth is always going to take bigger leaps than experience will. However, if I was a Florida State fan, I would be telling myself the same thing, right? Or think about how we thought of Jordan Travis entering last year's game. We thought he would, like, Jake, we didn't just think he was like, all right, okay. Like, we thought he was booty.
Because he was.
To
that point.
Yes, to that point. He had.
I mean, he certainly had some peaks, but he had way more valleys. Yes.
He was thought like the accepted thing was, okay, you stop the run, you force Jordan Travis to throw. There was no way that guy could throw it well to beat you. And obviously he proved everybody wrong. It just got better and better and better as the year went on. So he represents something totally different than he did last year. Jared Verse entering that game, we didn't really know about him. He was an Albany transfer. Mm-hmm. I wasn't watching Albany film.
Why not?
And now Jared Verse by the end of the year, I have no idea. Probably on PFF actually. But like by the end of the year, he was a top 20 NFL draft pick. So he represents something totally different as well.
For sure. And we could go through LSU. I mean, Jaden Daniels, same situation. Yes. Him in that game compared to where he finished the game. But I guess I'm looking more at young players. Mm-hmm. And the growth from year 1 to year 2, hell, the growth from like game 3 to game 7 when you're a freshman. But that's the difference. Like we had seen Jordan Travis, and he just continued to get better. So good on him. Same thing with Jaden Daniels. But the fact that you were counting on so many true freshmen a year ago in this game to where you're at right now is a completely different story for LSU. And they're still going to count on those sophomore players. I mean, Emory Jones didn't play in this game, and then all of a sudden the next week he was your starting right tackle, and we're like, wait, guard, Emory Jones, like he's out there at right tackle, and then he finished the season as a right tackle. So this is going to be a completely different LSU team than Florida State saw a year ago, and it's with players that LSU recruited, young guys, freshmen. Yeah, the transfers too, and that's hard. Now, transfers are all over the place, and it's hard to get a book on those guys, but even the players that Florida State saw a year ago are going to be different players, and the players are better because they gain that experience. And when you're first time out and you got an opponent like Florida State, I never had that situation. My first game was like Oregon State, I think, or something like that. It wasn't a top 10 Florida State.
We had Washington, which was kind of tight, but they weren't that good. But that Oregon State game got sketchy as hell.
Yeah, we should have lost the game.
1,000% should have lost that game. It was a year after the Natty, right? 04 to start?
Yeah, it was a monsoon.
I remember that. A bunch of missed extra points and whatnot for the Beavers.
And the guy won the Lou Groza the next year.
Wow. Okay, well, you know what? He used that adversity as opportunity, guys. Okay, there's a theme developing here. You know what I do find interesting about the transfer, Jake, is it seems like for Florida State, the majority of guys are going to be relying on this year on the offensive side of the ball, whereas for LSU, the majority of guys are going to be relying upon are on the defensive side of the ball. So it is kind of an interesting, okay, you both hired a bunch of mercenaries, and they're going to be going toe-to-toe. Who's going to do better, right? Like will Zy Alexander, Andre Sam, some of these secondary transfers be able to hold up against Keon Coleman, Jaheim Bell, like Omar Spates in the middle there, Ovia Gofu off the edge, right? Like this is something I'm very excited to see.
Player you're most excited to see in an LSU uniform that was not in an LSU uniform a year ago?
Harold Perkins.
Well, he was in one.
Yeah, you technically was.
He's just out there as a war daddy.
But he's the biggest difference in the game from last year, I'd say. Player most excited to see, I mean, for you, it's probably got to be Omar Spates, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, if I have the ability to go ahead and steal Mr. Spates, I would certainly take it because of what he can do and also for who he can cover up for. Harold Perkins.
I'm excited to see Chestnut. I think if he kind of lives up to what he can be, similar to Bernard Converse last year, he could really put LSU's defense over the top.
I'm going to go same position, a little bit different player. This is kind of for me strictly game one. When Ashton Stamps is thrown into the fire, I want to see if he'll live up to all this hype we've seen from him in fall camp. I'm excited to see Ashton Stamps, maybe more than any other player in game one.
Not a transfer, but a freshman, so matches the parameters of the question. I mean, I don't know, man. I guess I'll just keep it different then, and I'll go with those edge defenders, be it Swinson, maybe a Gofu. Which one of these new guys is going to come solidify? And does anybody emerge as like a pass rush threat off the edge? Can someone? Because if you can, then that changes the kind of read of this game pretty drastically. Although, again, it's a very good Florida State offensive line you're going against. When we get back, let's continue this conversation, continue to break down LSU, FSU. It is game week. We're going to kick off hour 2 with a week 1 college football preview. Then we got OTB mailbag. So keep it locked, youtube.com/1045ESPN. Hit the live chat instead of top chat. Just did it. Get all your comments in. More OTB coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Community Steel Company in Gonzales, Louisiana. CommunitySteelCo.com. Jason gave you the phone number in a little bit. I would say to use the phone number simply because they have a live and local sales team that are an absolute pleasure to work with. And look, you can be a roofer or a contractor. If you have any steel building needs, they got you, right? But you don't have to be a business, right? You just need some purlin, some trim, whatever, some tubing, whatever you need. They have it for you at the best prices. In fact, their prices are so good. Some of these old national companies, some of these old heads are getting a little upset at the young cub. But guess what? It ain't stopping Community Steel from providing the community with the best steel products at the best prices. CommunitySteelCo.com.
That phone number is 225-647-2020. And remember, hey, if they're open, they're like, hey, yeah, you can come by. Come swing by the office, man. They have a great environment over there in Gonzales. But call them today, 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Bayou Ford has $8,000 off MSRP, plus 1.9% financing on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks, along with Bayou Ford's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walk.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Sunshine, your John Deere dealer in Louisiana. It's NFL Cut Down Day. Who dat say they going to make this team? We'll have all the latest. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All I wish is to be alone. Stay away. Don't you invade my home. Best off if you hang outside. Don't come in. I'll only run and hide. Who can it be now? 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 Who can it be?
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Oh, I can't wait to watch Ahsoka later. Shout out to everybody. Have your kids watched it all, Jake? Do you know? No?
No, so the only one that would watch that, Knox, has started football every night. Yeah, so it's like, get home late, dinner, shower, homework, bed.
Ugh. Zachary Moe saying, gentlemen, Mo daughter number 2 on the way. Will be here in January. Girl dad in full effect. Heck yeah, Zachary. Congratulations, man.
What do we say since, we have boys, girls?
Yeah.
Just dad. How about that? That's a concept.
No, I mean, look, I think you just girl dad, boy dad, yeah.
Or just dad.
I don't mind.
I'm asking the question.
No, I don't mind.
What do
either
we
one.
say? I'm just asking.
I would say. I mean, I feel like both. I feel more like a girl dad still because the baby hasn't really.
Little
done
baby
anything
Bobby, Quad Bob.
But he hasn't done anything that's been like, ooh, that's like a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a stupid little baby. He doesn't talk or anything. He just sits. He just started crawling.
Hey,
so it's
don't
kind of
put
cool.
that. Hey.
I mean, he's pretty dumb.
Don't put
He
that
doesn't
on
know
Quad.
math. He can't read. He can't talk. He can't even understand me when I tell him to do things. If I point to something, he just stares at my finger.
Who's
and
to
then
say
looks
he
at a light in
can't?
the sky.
He just acts like he can't, so he doesn't have to do them.
Like, congrats, you idiot. You just learned how to eat with your hands. Okay, wow, jeez. I've been eating with my hands for 34 years almost now,
Yeah.
okay?
Maybe his will be easier, though, because they're bigger.
Okay, relax.
Easier to, pick up the food.
Relax. One thing he does have is some big, fat, creamy thighs, just like his paw.
That you share most days with our audience.
Yeah, but I wore these boots today, so I had to wear pants. It's a weird get up with the Star Wars shirt on, but
I don't know. It kind of works. It kind of works. The
feel-
Star Wars.
Shoot, Bo, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm from LP. I feel like one of Taylor's neighbors there, Bo. Come on. Do I look a little living to Paris today, Taylor?
You do. It's the backwards trucker hat that really gives you the full effect. If you had jeans instead of the khakis,
I don't know. I like the khakis.
Like
though.
you could run for mayor.
Hell yeah, dude. Shout out to Kovas, hooking up team snaps with some
that's
boots.
nice,
These things are
man.
cool. All right, let's get back to LSU FSU. One major advantage that I don't think that I've really, new boot goofing. Good call in the chat. Yeah, good job,
You knew
Buzz.
exactly what I saw.
Yeah, me too. Good job, Buzzley Ear. Buzzley Ear is also a funny name. Good job with that as well. One major advantage for LSU that we haven't really discussed is quite simple. And I think it's Brian Kelly. I like Mike Norvell. He did well at Memphis. We were about ready to declare him dead. And then he pulled last year out of the hat, and now everybody thinks very highly of him, and credit to him. Like, again, football is a meritocracy. You do well, you get praised. Lincoln, nobody's making up anything about your defense. But one major advantage, it's Brian Kelly. Like, overall, Brian Kelly remains a much better coach than Mike Norvell. And it's not to say that I feel like he's just going to have some sort of, like, game day impact, right? It's not going to be some, like, head coaching fourth down decision that ends up making the difference. But with a full year on task, like I'll give Kelly a pass for last year, but with a full year on task, a full year of the implementation of the process, the baking process, the offseason to get you to this point, LSU in theory should be more successful at it than FSU simply because what we've seen Brian Kelly do versus what we've seen Mike Norvell do.
I think that's completely fair. I mean, when you look at the resumes, Norvell was a great year last year, but now you got to show me that you can handle success.
Yeah.
You have to show that you can go out there with expectations and handle those. You're no longer trying to continue to punch up every single week. Now you have a target on your back. And not only from like LSU, but like when I talk to different Clemson people on off campus, like they're ready. They're like, wait a minute, hold up. We beat them last year.
Mm-hmm.
We won the ACC, and everybody's talking about them and nobody's talking about Clemson. So they got a target on their back for LSU and Clemson. Like all these teams know Florida State. They've got it circled now. The rest of the ACC does. So there's not going to be a situation where you sneak up on somebody. And so when you have that situation, that's really where you separate yourselves. You either stay in like he's an okay coach. He's a good coach, or you can try to get into that elite class.
Yeah.
Like Brian Kelly's already in that elite class. Like any top 5 list that you see, Brian Kelly's firmly in that list. Mike Norvell is not. And if you want to get there, you have to handle expectations. You have to handle a game like this where a lot of people across the country think you're going to win this game. Top 10 matchup. They favor you. They favor you in the ACC this year. If you go out there and you're 8-4 this year, then you take a step back. If you're 9-3, you stay in the same spot, maybe even take a step back. Like you have 10-2, 11-1 expectations.
Well, yeah. If you fall short in the way you were just talking about, you're who's old boy from NC State? Who's that coach? At NC State?
Dorn, right?
I was kind of wondering, is it Dave Dorn? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're him. Because look, NC State's a team that was getting better, knocking on the door. People start choosing him to win the ACC a couple of years in a row. What do? They fall short and they just stall out at 9-4. And now Dorian
8-5 last year, yeah.
So, but now Dorian is just a pretty good college football coach. So yeah, I'm with you. Like even if Norvell loses to LSU, if he finds a way to win the ACC and beat Clemson, then all of a sudden he's thought of as probably a top 10 coach in the entire country.
Yeah, I mean he kind of has that like because you're not Pat Narduzzi at Pitt. Pat Narduzzi finished it. He won the ACC.
That's weird because Pat Narduzzi's also not going to get the respect of being like a top.
I know, and
maybe it's because Pitt isn't their ceiling's not as high as
he's been there forever though.
Dave Dorn's like it's a good comment. I'm trying to think if there's one even better maybe in the ACC, but like you haven't done what Pat Narduzzi's done, which is win the league and get there. Like Florida State hasn't even gotten there, right? So like there's still a long way to go for Mike Norvell. Like you can't just have now what he did last year with the team and what we thought they were going to be. It's a nice season. It's not an epic season. You didn't even play in your conference championship game.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to go out there and you got to – this is a big year for them. And they've been loud in the offseason as far as what league they want to play in. Florida State's been the loudest in the ACC. So there's eyeballs and there's attention that's going to be paid to you like it hasn't since probably Jameis was there.
Yeah, I mean, they have more preseason hype they've had ever. I mean, last year there wasn't a ton of expectation for them or LSU. Everybody was excited for the game because it was brands, but these were unranked teams who were supposed to be, kind of mediocre. Far cry from this year. When we get back, let's wrap up hour one of OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552 is the number. CentralPlumbing.org is the website. The Payne family are the purveyors, the owners. I don't know if purveyors is the right word. But the Payne family are the people who are going to make sure that your plumbing and pipes are working. And it's an ironically named situation because it's a painless process working with Central Plumbing, 24/7. Emergency service. You pick up the phone weekend, weekday, holiday, doesn't matter. They get out to you as soon as possible. They fix your problem. You got flat rate pricing. You got everybody being licensed, bond insured, great warranty coverage. You have peace of mind every step along the way. You have the added security of 50 years of experience. And if you love OTB, you love Central Plumbing. CentralPlumbing.org.
225-925-8552. Not only in emergencies, if you're looking to upgrade at your home or business, they can come in, give you a consultation, tell you exactly where they would put everything to set up your space for success. 225-925-8552.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call
Sandiger, join us for the next edition of Live at Lunch from Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. We'll take a look back at what Brian Kelly said about Florida State, and it's cut-down day in the NFL. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, baby? Welcome back, OTB. Jesse says, another hurricane impact an LSU game against Florida State school or against a Florida school. Lock the gates. Storm's coming. Emil says the Fire Mike Norvell Twitter space will be back if the Noles lose to LSU and Clemson this year. I mean, remember, yes, last year at this time, the talk was, should Mike Norvell be fired and Coach Prime take over at FSU? It shows you what a different. But again, it also proves everything we talk about the meritocracy. Why does nobody feel that way about Norvell now? Why are they top 10 on all these lists? Why does PFF have him as preseason coach of the year? Bruce Feldman put out his top assistants on the entire country recently, Jake, and there's some LSU representation, but also both Florida State, OC, and DC on the top 10 in that list. Why is all this happening? Because they won. So, you know, you get what you earn.
Norvell still calls the plays.
You get what you
bulk
earn.
of the plays, correct?
Take that up with Bruce, not with me.
I was just asking a question.
I don't know. I think we looked into this like a few months ago, and I believe we figured out that Norvell still calls the plays. I will see if that has changed in the offseason, a la Ryan Day and Brian Hartline. FSU being full of upperclassmen / portal guys means that this season is all or nothing on them winning the ACC and making the college football playoff. They lose 20 starters after this season. Yeah, I mean, that's always just like, That's just always the case. If you have a very I guess that's the dual-edged side, Jake, of having a very upperclassman-laden team, right?
I think they have 2 sophomores.
Because it sets you up for success. But, yeah, you're going to take a step back next year. But that's fine because, generally you take advantage. You do very good things when you have those upperclassmen situations. Like LSU will be there eventually, and it won't be the worst thing because you'll be very excited about that upperclassman team, and then you just have to get to the level of an Alabama or Georgia where you can replace.
Right now, LSU has 7 sophomores in their first 22. Florida State has 2.
Yeah.
Kind of give you an idea of how
Well,
much
LSU's
older,
definitely got more
how
youth.
old that team is in Florida State. I think they're the second most returning production on Phil Steele's chart. They returned 48 Letterman, and LSU returns a lot. They returned 40. They only lost 17 Letterman. So they're a very old team. I mean, you know who they are. Their identity is set, and they're going to be a lot like the team you played a year ago.
Yeah, so Emil's point about, this kind of being I think a good coach could dictate that they can still be good, especially in the AC after this. But this is, in terms of championships, feels like the year where everything's lined up, which we've kind of discussed similar things with LSU, where you have the upperclassman quarterback. You have a full returning offensive line. You've got 2 All-Americans in the interior defense backed up by Harold Perkins, who is just ranked as the 4th best player in the country. You have what we think is a top 5 receiver group in the entire country. So, yeah, LSU's kind of in the same boat where, again, I think year to year they're going to remain good, but combined with what other teams are missing, it's a pretty nice year for the Tigers as well. So, we're going to see.
We're going to see, finally.
Finally. The long dark of the offseason almost over. Hour 2 kicking off with a week 1 preview and then mailbag.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com. Quality care for life's little unexpected moments. And look, man, it's going around, right? Everybody's getting COVID, colds, flus. I had that ear infection recently. Whatever the case may be, hopefully that stomach bug's not going around anymore. But if you or your family's not feeling well, you need to get in, get better, go pop into Patient Plus, guys. If you've already been there, then you already know, like you're already hooked. But if you've never been there, it's just better than quite frankly, it's just better than any urgent care I've ever been to. From a facility standpoint, technology standpoint, employee standpoint, they get you in, they get you out. Go check it out today. There's one next to you. They're all over the city. Also for all your occupational medicine needs, patientplusuc.com.
Yeah, like the canon says, that's not an opinion. That is a fact.
True.
Everything T-Bob just told you. patientplusuc.com. There's going to be a location that is near you in the Baton Rouge area. They are all about your convenience. So go visit the website today. Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Bayou Ford has $8,000 off MSRP, plus 1.9% financing on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks, along with Bayou Ford's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Monday, August 29th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 90. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of OTB Mailbag at 8:15, and Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins the show at 9 a.m. to talk Saints. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel, and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. August 29, 2023, Tuesday. I got a crazy picture. Somebody just texted me a picture of a man who jumped off the Waldorf Astoria yesterday in, I guess, in California somewhere. And it's not an overly gory picture. It is a little disturbing. It's a dead body. But what's more disturbing is maybe the story that they told with it. He said he ate a shrimp salad and then walked off and jumped off the building. If I'm doing that, I'm not going out with a shrimp salad, right? I mean, double cheeseburger,
Maybe a
chili
shrimp
cheese
buster.
fries, like.
Well, look. You're assuming that he planned to do this before he ate. That may not be the case.
You think the shrimp salad?
Maybe the
pushed
shrimp
him
salad
over the
was
edge?
that bad, and he was like, you know what, I'm out. I mean, that's
Wow,
possible.
That's true. Maybe so.
I mean, we weren't there.
Yeah, I'm
weren't.
stuffing myself so full of bad food that I'm going to make that cleanup a little extra messed up for whoever has to deal with that. Shrimp salad. Never would have guessed.
I want to know what possessed someone to send that story to you. I mean, you don't have to share. I'm just like in my mind, I'm asking myself.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Just the absurdity of that. Is that a word?
Absurdity?
Absurd.
I think is what you were looking for, perhaps.
So virginity?
So virginity.
I knew that was coming.
Hey, Jimmy Graham liked it, dude.
He did. Shout out.
Going to make the 53. When's that come out, later today?
Yes, this
supposed
afternoon.
to, yeah.
All right, let's see what ends up happening there. Right now, this hour, I want to do a little week 1 college football preview, okay? I want to dive into day by day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What are the best games to watch? And then we got OTB Mailbag coming up next. I won't say at the onset here. Yesterday, when Caroline was like, the week 1 slate's pretty weak, I was like, no way, because I was thinking of like some of the games that I'm into, but the week 1 slate actually is pretty weak. It's and to me, you'll see what we're talking about in a second, so maybe I should wait on this point. But to me, Jake, where it gets so frustrating as a college football fan is college football, what are you doing? Like, this is your 1 weekend without the NFL. This is your coming out party. Like, I understand that teams are scared to put their nuts on the line, and hopefully in the 2024 gene of college football with 12-team playoffs, teams won't be so weak and intimidated. But, like, this is frankly, in the age of TV ruling all, and every decision based off of TV revenue and TV ratings, this is actually a pathetic week 1. I mean, outside of LSU, Florida State, this is a pretty pathetic week 1 lineup considering you don't even have the NFL to go against. Like the stage is yours, and
I would agree.
Virginia, Tennessee is something that we got to get excited about. Like, come the hell on, dude. And that's actually one of the better ones.
Yeah, I mean, it at least has brands.
Yeah.
Like, outside of us, nobody, Nebraska and Minnesota is not going to move the needle nationally.
Okay, well,
you know.
Hold on now. Hold on. How about that? I mentioned Nebraska and Minnesota, okay, for a reason. Okay.
Neither one's ranked.
We'll see who wins that ratings battle between UF and Utah, Nebraska, and Minnesota, because those are the games on Thursday night. Give me a little NFL films or a little college football, maybe a little SEC on CBS.
Don't forget about NC State at UConn.
That does nothing for me, even though Jim Moore Jr. was good last year at UConn. Hell yeah.
It was.
Yeah, so Thursday, 7 p.m., 2 games, Nebraska at Minnesota on Fox and Florida at Utah on ESPN. That's right, my fellow Huskers.
We
are 2 days away
okay.
from the Corn Hub debut.
Yeah, the ratings, though, I don't know. I'd be careful there. We play a little game on Off Campus on Fridays. What's the ticket? And you got to guess ticket prices. And Bobby, God bless him, he gets it wrong every single time. We go lowest and highest. If ticket price if ticket price is anything to say what the ratings are going to look like, to get into the Nebraska at Minnesota gate,
got to be like 500 at
tickets
least.
as low as $65.
Yeah, 565. Okay,
$65 for
65.
Florida at Utah. The lowest ticket to get into the gate, $122. So almost double.
Utah, smaller stadium.
Than Minnesota?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, though. Probably actually the exact same size, if we're being honest.
I think there is some real look, Nebraska, Minnesota.
No, it's Minnesota, so that doesn't.
Nebraska, Minnesota is going to be a game that I certainly go back and watch the all 22, but I'm going to be watching Florida at Utah.
Pathetic. I will not.
I guarantee you do.
No, I guarantee I'm going to be watching. In fact, we should probably do another little OTB kickoff meal like we did last year when we watched the Backyard Brawl and Penn State Purdue. Watching Aiden O'Connell and company ball, but Penn State barely pull it out.
Both those games were great.
Exactly.
Hey,
Just like
T-Bob.
these two.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Utah plays in Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Yeah.
A capacity of 51,444.
Little boy stadium.
Minnesota.
Yeah, tell him. Give it to him, Taylor.
They play in, looks like the Huntington Bank Stadium.
Yep. Love Huntington Bank.
And it is.
You said it. Years.
51,000. So right at.
Wow. It literally was exactly the same. Okay. Well, whatever. Perfect opportunity for Matt Rule. I mean, think about this. I mean, Minnesota should win this game 1,000 times out of 1,000. If Matt Rule does, though, Jake, the Corn Hub hype is going to be out of control.
However, if Minnesota does play in the Vikings Stadium every now and then, like if that's something they do, that holds 66,000.
Yeah. Yeah,
but they
I
don't
agree.
anymore.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
But it's a good point by Taylor, nonetheless, to explain the disparity in ticket price.
It's the same. What do you mean?
That's Thursday's games. Yeah, I think most of you are probably watching Florida-Utah because y'all want to watch Graham Mertz. Get the hell out of here. Okay, I'll watch Jeff Sims and whoever PJ Fleck's quarterback is.
It's more like I want to watch if Cam Rising plays for Utah.
In Florida, wait, so yeah, that's not official? That's I don't know, man. I just assume Cam Rising's tough as hell. It's been long enough.
Too.
Like,
I'm like, bruh.
I'm not.
It's Cam Rising.
I'm not really buying this idea that Cam Rising's not going to play.
No, I'm the same with you. I've said it all season. You got to chain him to the bench for him not to be in that game. It's Cam Rising.
So that's Thursday, which actually Thursday, that's a damn good slate maybe compared to some of the rest of the week we're going to get to. Friday, the only game that does anything for me, although I don't think I'm even going to watch, is Miami of Ohio.
The battle for Miami.
At Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little Miami.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
the Miami Bowl.
Song. Yeah, also Miami of Ohio already talking that noise, saying we're going to show them who the real Miami is.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I don't expect from either Miami. I'd rather watch Louisville, Georgia Tech, I think.
God,
I think Louisville's going to be better.
So bad. It's just like, go ahead.
Louisville's going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
They've got their, like, if they could go handpick a coach, they would go get Jeff Brom. Like, he is their guy.
Yeah.
And they finally got him to leave Purdue to come home to Louisville. Brian Brom, his brother's with him as the OC. They were better last year. They won 8 games, and I thought they were going to win 4. But Georgia Tech, like, I don't know. I have no idea
Well,
who
they don't
Georgia
have Jeff Sims anymore.
And he was there for 12 years. So I have no idea who Georgia Tech is.
It's so weird. Like,
And that's a kickoff game.
wanting to cram. I know. I felt bad for our boy because he's just one of the most just electric people I've ever sat down with, the leader of the Peach Bowl that we were talking to at SEC Media Days. Like, I could interview that man for hours. But this, and look,
Yeah,
he's got bangers lined up.
And Gary tried to sell that game.
Yeah, he did. But this one's it's just
hard.
not doing
It's
anything
a hard
for
sell.
me. Like just wanting to see the potential disaster that is Miami is more interesting to me than any of those teams, unfortunately.
I agree.
Because also I'm a big, the same way I doubt Steve Sarkisian, I'm a big Mario Cristofaro believer, where I think he's a snake oil salesman.
And if you want to be in that number for the Battle of Miami, if you've got 7 George Washingtons, you can get in the gate.
Hell yeah, bro. $7. Count me in.
Last thing on Louisville real quick. Y'all remember a couple weeks ago we got disconnected from a guest. I thought that guest was going to call back, but it was just a guy. And it was a guy saying, watch out for Louisville this season because they have a good quarterback, they have a good running back, and they don't play Florida State or Clemson in the regular season.
We just got a random Louisville.
Say now.
Yeah, part of me thinks that's like
Louisville.
Part of me thinks that might be the gambling gods trying to manifest themselves. Might just be a random.
I mean,
guy.
they were good last year.
Okay,
to
why don't you
what
put
we
it?
thought,
Why don't you
but-
put it to the test and bet on Louisville then?
I might little sprinkle.
Don't be scared. Saturday at 11 a.m. Virginia versus Tennessee in Nashville. Somewhat interesting. And more just because you want to see how real does Tennessee look. Joe Milton, because that could have a huge impact on the East. Arky State at Oklahoma at 11 a.m. I'm kind of into because, again, Brent Venables, same thing. It's kind of like the disaster Mario Cristofaro situation. And then I am interested in this legitimately. Colorado at TCU.
I think
11
everybody
a.m.
is.
Tom Luginbill, that's the big noon kickoff. Catch Mark Ingram on it. But Tom Luginbill came out yesterday and said, forget about UMass. Colorado may have the worst roster in the country. And this is after flipping it over. Now, it's no different from last year when it looked like they had the worst roster in the country. But it is a surprise to hear someone say that, given the overhaul that Prime's done.
I don't know that I would say they have the worst roster. They might have the worst lineman roster.
He said worse, but then he zoomed in on the trenches.
I mean, all the players that they brought in are skill players.
Yeah.
I've never had a team where I had no idea like this Colorado team. Like, I don't know about Georgia Tech, like I said, but I really have no idea how this Colorado team's going to work. All the new Coach Prime, literally like a completely overhauled roster. How many players? Like, was it 10 left from last year?
That he kept? Yeah, it was like 10 or 15, somewhere in there.
Yeah. It's in teens, whatever it was. Look, I don't expect a lot. I really don't. And TCU's a really good team and a good program. I can see them getting run out of the building.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's like, I'm intrigued by this game. Like, are you, though? Like, it's not going to be a good game.
Well, it's something we've never seen before.
You are intrigued, yes.
I'm intrigued because we've never seen overhaul like this.
Yes. But, like,
And
competitive-wise,
even TCU in and of itself is interesting because they were in a national championship last year. They lost everyone, and they want to prove that that's okay, that they replaced everyone. And they should beat the crap out of them. If they don't beat the crap out of them, well, then all of a sudden there's going to be a lot of TCU doubt mixed in. So, no, I think there's good, especially when you look at the rest of the slate, there's legitimate reason to watch this game. All right, let's go to break. When we get back, we'll push back mailbag by a segment. Let's we'll quickly run through our next games when we get back, and then mailbag after that. So continue to get your questions in. I am logging them in the document. Hashtag OTB mailbag. We'll see you on the other side.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind. When is is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco, voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's Kate Voisin, inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the next edition of Louisiana Prep Weekly. This week's special guest is Struma head football coach Sid Edwards. Louisiana Prep Weekly, wins and 8s at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. It's so funny how information travels. You just hit me with a tweet from On3 or a story from On3 regarding a Rick Gilbert you boys did back there, and then I got a text about it like a minute later. But a little Corn Hub Colonel, Nebraska tight end Rick Gilbert arrested Tuesday on burglary charge amid ongoing questions about eligibility. Yeah, so the other day the story was updated where he was still not eligible, needing a waiver to play for Nebraska after transferring again from Georgia. And unfortunately now it's being reported that he was arrested on a burglary charge Tuesday morning in Lancaster County. Just sad, man. The whole story's sad. The whole story has been sad really the entire time, as you had somebody who was just a transcendent physical talent, but for whatever reason just cannot get it together enough to take advantage of that talent. And I still hope that somehow he does, but I don't know. This is, yeah, it's rough. It's really rough. It's really rough. Feel for Gilbert and hope that he can figure it out. But, yeah, just a little news update there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a uber talented football player, and we've only gotten to see him.
He was so good in that Mizzou game.
A few times in an LSU uniform, and one game maybe that I remember in a Georgia uniform. There was one game where I saw him out there. He was with the backups
in the
and
spring
played.
game, he like caught a couple touchdowns or
I know
something.
he played in a regular season game last year and played well, and people were like, okay, like, are we going to have 3 tight ends?
Maybe it was like the opener or
If I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and look.
And then he disappeared, and then Kirby got sick of answering questions about him, and then he ended up in Nebraska.
Yeah.
All right, before we get to mailbag, let's continue. Give us some music more. Let's continue our breakdown. We left off at the big noon kickoff, Colorado at TCU. 2:30 p.m. Sneaky good maybe here. Boise State at Washington. Our Huskies looking to make a statement. There are a few football truths that I don't know that I'll ever shake. One is that Seattle will always, the Seahawks will always have good defense and be the Legion of Boom.
Mm-hmm.
One will also be that Boise State is always sneaky good. I have no idea who the head coach is. I have no idea who the quarterback is. I cannot name you a single Boise State player, and yet I believe they're probably pretty good. And so a great opportunity here for Washington to make a statement by beating a pretty good Boise State team badly week 1.
I mean, they're a 3 touchdown favorite.
Oh, I was going to say, what? I mean, Boise's really good.
If I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can get an updated line here. Okay, well, in the offseason it was 19.5. Now it's 15. Okay. All right. Maybe
Boise State, pretty good.
Running back got hurt. No, I mean, 15 still 2 touchdowns.
Look, Ian Johnson can score a lot of touchdowns, and the bottom line is Kellen Moore just doesn't lose games, okay?
Yeah. I have – that's great breakdown.
What about Jared Zabransky? Is that his name?
I think so.
Feels right.
NCAA cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Feels right.
Yeah.
Just watch out for LeGarrette Blount after the game.
Boy, Oregon learned. Guess LeGarrette Blount kind of learned. Actually, LeGarrette Blount.
I don't know. He actually
the Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, he
huh?
actually he had a run. Yeah. But Washington, it's a opponent that we all know in Boise State, and it's an opponent that is going to have some quality to it. So a good matchup for Washington week 1.
Bilbo says, why are we playing the Big Ten on CBS Music? Because our next game at 2:30 p.m. is Ohio State at Indiana. You just want to see is Kyle McCord or Kyle Gilbert? Now Gilbert's infecting my brain. Kyle McCord, right?
I don't think they've named the starter, though. I mean, it's going to be
between
McCord.
He's the assumed guy.
Devin Brown, but yeah, Kyle McCord's supposed to be the starter.
I'm so fed up with these college football coaches not naming starting quarterbacks. I'm even more fed up with Jonathan Gannon trying to play that game in the NFL. Okay, be an adult, you bums. Like,
God, they're going to be bad.
Get over yourselves.
Pew, pew, pew.
Ohio State at Indiana. Look, Indiana's awful. Ohio State's going to roll, but, it is Power 5 Big Ten. Here's one, Buffalo at Wisconsin, 2:30. Not the most interesting, but, who doesn't want to see an air raid in Wisconsin? That's the only reason why I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Phil Longo's excited to show, we're an air raid, but watch how much we run the football. We're going to, you can run out of air raid principles and formations in the scheme of air raid, and he's done it. He's done it in his career. And I think he's going to show a lot of people, hey, we are still going to do a lot of the things that you saw, like in power and different things, counters, but it's going to be from a different way, and we're going to get there a different way. So when Braden Allen's you're kind of your best player, and he's 242 pounds, you'd be foolish not to run that guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to find Bruce Feldman's piece about the best assistants in college football. It had some really interesting rushing numbers on Phil Longo. But
I mean, when you had Williams and Carter in 2019, they both had 1,000 yards in North Carolina. I mean, he'll run the football. he's going to play to whatever his strengths are, and that's kind of who he's been. And there might be a day where Wisconsin goes full air raid, but if you have your best player as a running back and you really got two good running backs there in Madison, you're going to run the football.
Yeah, okay, here it is. In 2021, Longo's offense was second in the ACC in yards per carry. They led it in 2020. They're also top 10 nationally in each of those 10 years while finishing top 2 in the ACC in rush yards per game. So, yeah. All right. Then Southeastern and Mississippi State, I don't know, line up. A little Louisiana connection, Arnett, probably not. And then at 6:30, this is actually maybe my favorite game of the day.
Is this big? Wait.
UNC South Carolina.
Okay, I was like.
No, not WVU.
I thought you were about to go West Virginia. I'm like, dude, you got to give that up.
No, I hate Neil Brown. I can't wait for Neil Brown to be fired like 4 games in the season.
It is a whiteout, though, in Beaver Stadium, so that's about the most exciting thing I think is going to come from that game.
You talking about Penn State?
Yeah.
They're doing the whiteout for WVU?
Yeah, night game whiteout, yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in the opener, too. Like
gross.
It's on NBC.
More signs at Penn State just ain't it, guys. Trust them at your own risk. They should roll WVU. But UNC South Carolina is fascinating me.
Yes.
UNC has third best quarterback in the country, maybe second best depending on how you rank him, maybe first best, right? Pretty good last year, but South Carolina, we're all giving credit to, saying they're going to be the class of the East. Spencer Rattler trying to battle with Drake May. It's an interesting case of two teams that are looking to take big steps forward that'll be putting that on the line immediately week 1.
It's a fascinating game. For South Carolina to kind of capture what they had at the end of last year, can you do it from the very beginning? And for North Carolina, your defense was so bad a year ago, and everything had to run through Drake May. Can you improve on that side of the ball enough? And he lost some weapons as well. So both teams need this game. I think South Carolina more than North Carolina because South Carolina is playing in the East where you got Tennessee, Kentucky, certainly Georgia, and even Mizzou. So it's like, do we really have this many opportunities? We can't really falter in a game like this. And if you want to continue that momentum that you created last year, because Shane Beamer was the cool coach during the offseason. Now, Shane's always great, but he had a lot of juice in the offseason, and you'll lose all of that you built up, all that equity you built up if you lose to North Carolina.
Yeah, I agree. It's all on the line for Beamer week 1. And if you lose to North Carolina, I mean, you can still improve during the year, but chances are you're not going to be nearly as good as we've been giving you credit for all offseason. Then Sunday night, obviously.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa, you forgot one on Saturday. And a game maybe that I'm more excited about outside of LSU, Florida State than any. And I mean this. South Alabama at Tulane on ESPNU, 7 p.m. South Alabama, Kane Womack against Willie Fritz and Tulane. I promise you, this is going to be a great football game. This is a South Alabama program that is on the rise. We know what Tulane did a year ago. That's going to be in Yulman Stadium. Trust me when I say, if you can get to a TV, have this one on because it's going to be that type of game. Last year, South Alabama was a missed field goal away from beating UCLA. They are that kind of program. Like, they are on the rise, and I think Tulane is going to continue what they started last year as well. It's going to be a really well-played game.
If you watch the game, look out for Jared Small, former LSU player in line to start before he tragically tore his ACL again right before, I think it was 2020 or maybe 21. But either way, now at Tulane. Okay, my bad, Tulane fans. Emil says also, will Tulane be in a look-ahead spot with Ole Miss next week? Okay,
Yep.
Potentially.
You can get in the gate for $2.
Dang.
Sunday, 6:30 p.m., LSU versus FSU in Orlando. We already know about that. And then Monday, a little Clemson at Duke to finish out. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I was going to make a joke about Northwestern at Rutgers. Only family members are going to watch that one.
Oh.
Clemson at Duke has some real juice.
Yes.
If you're Duke, you have the standard of your conference coming to your stadium. I don't know the history of Duke football. I know Steve Spurrier coached there, and that's about where it stops. You're going to have the best atmosphere probably that you've ever had. I think it's like 42,000 seat stadium.
Cameron Crazies.
It should. Oh yeah, we talked about this. It should be packed to the gills. It should be packed. You're a standalone Monday night football.
Do they have AC in the football stadium?
Probably not. Like the Carrier Dome doesn't even have AC.
There you go.
So maybe it does now that they lost the Carrier Dome title. It doesn't matter. So
Isn't
Wallace
Carrier
Wade
an HVAC
Stadium.
company? Am I crazy?
Yes, it is. And they didn't have air
And
conditioning.
no AC.
Oh my God.
No
And you're
AC in the
sponsored by
Carrier
yeah.
Dome.
Ironic.
Yes. Wallace Wade Stadium should be rocking. I think Clemson wins this game, but Riley Leonard is a quarterback that you don't quite know about yet, but you should know about him. I'm expecting it to be a 3-quarter game, and then Clemson pulls away because of their depth. But if you're Duke, man, what a great opportunity to really start your season with your campus buzzing and with probably the biggest crowd that you've ever had to watch a football game.
Emil pointed out that Cam Wire's also Tulane now.
He is.
For a couple former Tigers.
Yeah.
Jake, I love that Clemson Duke game.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be a lot. But like you mentioned, Riley Leonard. How is no one talking about this guy yet? I mean, look, he had 2,900 yards passing, 20 touchdowns. You're like, okay, 700 yards on the ground and 13 rushing touchdowns. So he had 33 total touchdowns, only 6 turnovers last year in his first full season as a starting quarterback. I mean, I like this guy. I think he stacks up right up there with the top of all the great quarterbacks in college football this year. That could be a game.
I also like Duke. I think Elko was an underrated hire when they got him.
Yeah.
And look at Texas A&M since they lost him. Their defense has been lost.
Yep. Great point.
Well, we're going to see because that Clemson front seven looks to be pretty damn good. So
Yes.
Riley Leonard's going to have his work cut out for him because I don't think that Duke front's going to be able to hold up.
Duke, I forgot this. They thumped UCF in the bowl game, 30-13.
Gus Malzahn.
Fraud.
Can't win the big one. Actually, Gus is great.
Yeah, he's kind of a good guy. But still, he got
I
thumped.
don't know about good guy, but he's a good coach. Seems like a good guy.
Seems like it, yeah. In my dealings.
But as you can tell, that's it for the week 1 preview. As you can kind of tell, like it's exciting because we are people who have been wandering the desert for 8 months, and now we're finally coming upon water. But you got to do better in the future, college football. That's an absolute joke of a week 1.
Hey.
It is.
The
I don't
school,
care.
the school that we played at.
Yeah, no, I mean, look,
You know what I'm saying? Florida State
talking
back-to-back years. Next year, USC. We're about that
It's
life.
like,
We're about that business.
F you, you're cool.
Yeah.
F you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida State, LSU, y'all cool. It's all
Yeah,
good.
and they
man.
got USC next year.
Yeah, we've been
scared.
doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. Oregon, UNC, Wisconsin,
BYU.
BYU. Oh yeah,
Short
BYU.
circuit.
Yeah. I feel like we're missing.
we
Miami?
mentioned
You
Oregon
say
State
Miami?
back in the day. No, Miami.
Yeah, in
Hell
18.
yeah, Miami.
Yeah. You heard it. I think that's it.
Yeah, nut up, guys. Okay, be like us. When we get back, OTB mailbag. Keep it locked.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to K2ZBlinds.com for all your custom window covering needs. K2ZBlinds.com is the website. Okay, this is a Louisiana company, okay, led by Brandon Barton, who's a 25-year veteran of window treatment industry. So I'm talking about 25 years, man, of skin in the game, right? Expertise upon which to rely to get you the custom job that you need and you deserve. They offer free in-home consultations. So what are you waiting for? Take advantage today for all your custom blinds, window shades, rotate shutters, whatever you want. That K to Z window coverage.
Yeah, look, I would fully encourage you to give them a call, have them come out for everything that T-Bob just mentioned. I mean, they can do it all, but right now is the best time, the perfect time to go check out those outdoor screen patios that we're talking about, right? These motorized, you push a button, it comes down, it keeps you away from those UV rays, keeps the bugs out as well. Go ahead and go to the website, K2ZBlinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And
join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll have Glenn West talking Tigers, Sharif Ishak on the Saints, and my guy Brandon Taylor from the LSU Sports Radio Network. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, let's go through a little OTB mailbag.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for off the bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
Hashtag OTB mailbag. Has anyone searched Jake for a Kentucky tattoo? Dude loves Kentucky a little too much.
I don't know who that's from, but I'm going to guess William Ivy.
Yep, that's correct.
I swear to God, I don't even see it, but it bothers him how much I appreciate what Mark Stoops has done in Lexington. Go back and look at the history of that program. It's a bad program. It just is. They were always the Jefferson Pilot sports game. Every single week. It was Kentucky versus somebody. And they lost to Florida for 31 straight years. And now Stoops beats them, it feels like every year, but he is beating them like 3 out of 4 times, it feels like.
Is it 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4? Let's check.
It might be 2 out of 3. But
that's not the point.
You lose a game 31 straight times, and now like you're winning, even if it's every other year, like that is growth. And he's taking that place. And I was catching up with, it was Ryan McGee. And he's like, all these people that like talk about Kentucky and like, is 8 wins going to be enough? He's like, I remember when 8 wins, they throw a party in Lexington. Like he said, like they were Vanderbilt. And he's right. And like to the point now where they're at, yeah, I respect the hell out of the program. And Mark Stoops and Devin Leary and Ray Davis and the receivers, Brown and all those guys they have, they're going to be a good football team.
I knew it was going to take
I knew who asked it before I even saw it.
They've won 3 of 5 in the last 2 in a row.
They lost for 31 straight years. Now they've won 3 of 5.
Well, and then not only that, like one of the games that Florida actually won, Felipe Franks was the starter. He went down with a knee injury. Trask comes in off the bench.
And balled.
Well, he balled, and then Kentucky didn't prepare for Kyle Trask in that game. So it's like one of the games Florida won. It's like, Kentucky had that game won.
Bro, I ain't giving. If you lose 31 times in a row, I don't care if you get unlucky once. Like, get the hell out of here.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, he's had a lot of success in the last couple of years.
Greg LeMond. Look, I was the biggest Kentucky doubter last year. I'm not this year. That's all I'll say. Remember, one of my 5 big predictions preseason last year was Kentucky will fail you. I'm not there this year.
Stoops has the best job in college football. What is it in his contract? It's either 8 or 9 wins a season. What is it? If he
Might be 8.
If he wins 8 games or 9 games, whatever, he automatically gets a 1-year extension on his
He's
contract.
been there 11 years.
I mean, the guy's got the best. He's got the best job in college football.
More like Kentucky. That's a beta contract.
They-
Greg LeMond.
They returned 16 starters. The only one they lose on offense, Will Levis. Because they're counting Ray Davis, who started in the SEC.
I don't even care about that. All I care is that Liam Cohen came back. That's the only reason why I feel good about them.
You'll see about Devin Leary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be hyped on Devin Leary, though, if it wasn't for Liam Cohen.
You should, but it makes you go heightened.
Look, last year, though, Devin Leary.
The first game.
I know, but
And
when
then
he played, he did not. It left a lot to be desired, even in that first game. Remember how mad we were at him? Greg LeMond, hashtag OTB mailbag. Can you go through each defensive and offensive unit for FSU and LSU and state whether they are better or worse in comparison to last year? It's going to be improvement across the board. Right? I mean, for both teams.
You would think so.
Maybe arguably LSU got worse in the secondary, but we can't really say that because, like, we also didn't know what you had in the secondary last year when you entered the season.
Yeah, with
so
Gardner
very
and
similar.
Bernard Converse, transfers.
But, I mean, everybody else should be better.
You feel better about the offensive line, certainly. You
On both
feel
sides.
better about the quarterback, certainly.
Yeah, both.
Receiver.
Yeah, both.
You probably feel
end,
better.
Yeah.
Tight end definitely for both.
Yeah.
Teams.
At least depth-wise,
for sure.
you feel better about the D-line as well.
Yeah.
Because you could say, well, you're without Mason Smith. You were pretty much without him last year as well. I mean, he got hurt the first drive. So,
yeah.
I mean, Jordan Jefferson's looked really good in camp. They like Parashan. They like Jalen Lee. Like,
again, that's one of the best parts
Linebacker,
about this
too.
game, though, is that both teams should be better at every spot.
The starting linebackers last year for LSU, Mike Jones and Greg Penn.
yeah, and neither
And
of
now
them
you
are.
got Harold Perkins and Omar Spates.
Yeah, like that's a big jump.
Ryan
and then
Brock.
Perkins didn't even play in the game last year.
I know, that's the biggest difference to me. Ryan Brock says, hashtag go to mailbag. Top 3 LSU true freshmen that will contribute the most by the end of the season.
Jackson Stamps, Jackson and Stamps. I'm not one name. All it sounded like one
Talking
name.
about Caleb Jackson and Ashton Stamp.
Ashton definitely going to make a stamp.
Good job.
I got to tell you,
Didn't hate it.
when I was out there in practice,
Didn't hurt,
Shelton
maybe.
Sampson made a lot of plays at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one injury away from getting a lot of playing time.
Samsonite.
Hurd, your boy?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
Lance
definitely
Hurd is another one.
I was
Yeah.
going to say Hurd for sure. I don't know how early Hurd will feel that impact, but the way that they talk about him is somebody that they're going to try to season as the year goes on.
Okay, before the season starts, what's the deal? So Lance, where did Lance come from?
I'm just saying Lance now because that's what people told me to do, but God, I love the name
Zalance is
Zalance.
just such a cooler
It's
name.
such a cool name, I know, dude.
Like Zalance is slick. Like Lance sounds like your neighbor that cuts his grass too early on the weekends.
Lance can, Lance can go a lot. It's just,
Yeah.
I know Lance's. I never met a Zalance.
I mean, I cannot think. Every
Zalance
time
feels
y'all
like
say
a name out of Doom.
Every time y'all say Lance, I think of Knight's Tale.
Like an
It's
actual
called
Lance?
The Knight's Tale, the movie with
Yeah,
Heath Ledger. It's called
yeah.
a Lance. Hello. That's the only thing I can think of.
He's called Zalance.
Let's see on the official LSU website. He is Lance Hurd.
All right, call him Lance. Gotcha.
That's disappointing. Greg LeMond, hashtag OG mailbag. Can you go? Oh, wait, that's the same question again. All right, let me see here. I'm an SEC, Big Ten, and Group of 5 Survivor Leagues for this season. Give me your stone cold locks for week 1 for each conference. Ooh, I'd have to look at the schedule better to lock this in.
You have to write that one down.
Yeah. Maybe we can revisit that.
God, I hope Pimpton's a good player, man. There's too many great puns for us to use.
It's true.
All right.
Garden Pimpton ain't easy.
Yeah. I mean, just be good, please.
Pimpton all over the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big
who should we
Pimpton,
throw it to? Big Pimpton.
Yeah. Too many for us.
Man, he... Big Pimpton. Big Pimpton. Cheese. Eating cheese. Pimpton eating.
No, it's
feasting
Big
in the red
Pimpton
zone.
scoring D's.
There we go.
There you
Yes. Scoring
Yeah.
TDs.
Yeah.
Also, you could do. Has it go to be mailbag? Been away for a while. Has T-Bob chosen an EPL team to follow? Yeah, Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
No. Has it go to be mailbag? Have you gotten a pumpkin spice latte yet? Yeah, it is 90 degrees, guys. Pumpkin spice season is officially here.
Not yet. If they're doing that, it's far too soon. It is.
No, it's
hot.
not. Not if it's September.
It's not September.
But it almost is.
But it's not.
Functionally.
Couple more days.
No, you're onto something here. My wife sent me to the little coffee shop out in Walker to get her one. She's like, well, they're advertising they may have one. They told me September that they would have them. So
Yeah.
There you go.
It's still technically the summer on the calendar.
Football will kick off this weekend and fall will start. Officially. Lance Richard says, shut up, Taylor. Some of us are early risers.
Saw that in the chat.
All right.
What is the first day of fall?
Um,
Officially, September 23rd. First day of fall, officially.
Oh, okay.
So that's when you can have a pumpkin spice latte. Looking at you, Doring. Looking at you.
You can have a pumpkin spice latte whenever your little pumpkin spice heart desires.
No,
I
as a
personally
company,
think
that's when you
pumpkin
should offer
spice
it.
tastes like garbage, but enjoy it, I suppose.
Ooh, I don't know. Pumpkin spice bread's pretty good.
Pumpkin bread is good year-round, though.
It is.
I'll eat pumpkin bread whenever. I'll eat banana bread whenever.
Yeah, that too.
I'll eat potato buns whenever.
Like a lemon loaf?
I'll take a lemon loaf.
Yeah,
for
I get
sure.
smashed too.
I mean, pretty much any delicious sweet baked treat is going to go down pretty smooth for your old boy.
Yeah, same.
Shout out Lee's. Go get yourself a pie in the comp today.
You're doing great.
When we get back, more to be. Keep it look.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com. Explore the broad collection of Toyota-certified pre-owned vehicles where you still get that warranty coverage. You have peace of mind. And so your car says you need to be serviced. You bring it in. A lot of times you don't even open your wallet. Look, you can explore the website, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, or go see them off of Airline Highway. I always recommend going in there because this is a big purchase. But if you're, a child of the, if you love just adopting new technology, thanks to All-Star Express, you can actually custom order your vehicle right there on the website if you're into that. But, I mean, again, the people at All-Star are what really make the difference, in my opinion. Just go check them out today, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
When you go to that website, like T-Bob said, you can do a lot of different things. You can customize that vehicle. You can also check out the per-day rental prices that we tell you about. It's right there on the homepage, actually right in the middle of the homepage. Rit a Toyota. Click on that. You'll see the per-day prices. Remember, full fleet is available no matter what you need. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco, voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Sunshine, your John Deere dealer in Louisiana. It's NFL Cut Down Day. Who dat say they going to make this team? We'll have all the latest. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, Taylor hanging out with you today. Wrapping up hour number 2. You see Jim Harbaugh kind of biting back at the NCAA a little bit here. So not only has Harbaugh pulled a few funny moves with his suspension, he's going to have 4 different head coaches during the first 3 games of the season. He's also made his dad assistant to the head coach or something.
Dad, a legend in the game, Western Kentucky.
But D.C. Jesse Minter going to be the coach game 1 of East Carolina. Then his son, Jay Harbaugh, who's the special teams coordinator, will be the coach of the first half against UNLV, whereas Mike Hart, how about Mike Hart? Huh?
Yeah.
Taking over at the second half of UNLV. Sharon Moore, offensive coordinator, who's also the O-line coach, has led a back-to-back Joe Moore Award-winning offensive lines, who's actually suspended for game 1 as well.
Yep.
Will be the coach against Bowling Green in game 3. That's a pretty cool move by Jim, kind of, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. He gets these guys experience, shows how weak their schedule is. But
we're seeing this in the NFL in the preseason.
Yeah.
Like different organizations are saying, hey, for this game, you're the head coach. Or the Saints, like Ronald Curry's been calling plays. And so we've seen it, across the board. It's something new that we're seeing.
Shoebank says he should let John Harbaugh FaceTime head coach one. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Where I'm saying that Harbaugh's nipping at the NCAA is, okay, he's like, okay, you want to come at me? Now, he's saying these are not related. But he did open his media availability yesterday with a lengthy statement talking about how the Big Ten and the NCAA needs to share TV revenue with the players. This is something that they have been trying to avoid for a while now. It's one of the things I talked about with Emmert a few months ago when I feel like I had that revelation that maybe Emmert's a genius because he managed to pay players without it coming out of their pockets at all. Yeah. And Harbaugh is now going after said pocket, saying it's ridiculous that this labor would create this amount of money and that they see no piece of it. And that's a fight that was always inevitable but Harbaugh's trying to speed up that timeline and kind of annoy the NCAA a bit.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. There's a lot of football teams and a lot of players on those football teams. It's not 32 with 53. It's 133 with 85 per team. And so that's one of the biggest roadblocks for me is how do you get that done? And if you get it done, what's that percentage look like and how much per player? Is it performance-based? Is it, if you're on scholarship-based, like what's that look like?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. Actually.
You know what I'm saying?
I would imagine it'd just be a flat cut for the players.
It wouldn't be as much as maybe some people are thinking, because I can't imagine they get too deep into those pockets. But even if you got something, I feel like a big win for the players.
I just think it's funny that Harbaugh is kind of using his power to be like, okay, you want to come after me? Well, guess what? This is something I know you don't want to talk about. Let's bring it to light. I also thought this was funny. He said, quote, and he's talking about his suspension here. I've heard some people comment that it's a slap on the wrist. It's more like a baseball bat to the kneecap, so the shoulder. Jim, get out of here. Jim,
That's such a
this is not like being kneecapped at all.
I love Jim Harbaugh, man. I'm not going to lie.
It's
why?
He's just likable, man. He's passionate about football.
He is. He's because again, he started to win, so he became likable again. Like I agree with you, Mario. I like Michigan and Harbaugh.
He's a hard nut to crack sometimes, though.
Oh no, I've heard he's an a-hole and he's crazy and a psychopath, but when you win, all that stuff becomes quirky.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Right? When you lose, you're an a-hole, you need to be fired, no one likes you. But when you win, it's like Bill Belichick, right? We're on to Cincinnati.
How would you feel if Belichick...
What if that's Jonathan Gannon acting like that?
What if Belichick yelled at the TV assistant telling his team not to run out of the tunnel yet?
I would be surprised, but I wouldn't come after him like I am Steve Sarkisian. But have you seen Bill Belichick do that?
Maybe, but I don't know.
Bill Belichick's ever cared about yelling at a TVPA? You think he's ever thought about a TVPA before an NFL game?
He thinks about AgTemp and AgTempBR.com and their 5-star ratings.
I doubt he does.
I don't think so.
We
I
do
think he
here on
knows
OTV.
exactly who it is.
For all your AC, heating, and electrical needs, unofficially, allegedly, Bill Belichick endorsed AgTemp of Baton Rouge. Only 90 degrees, guys. Take control of your comfort zone. Take advantage of that incredible customer service, that service to the highest degree at AgTemp Baton Rouge, AgTempBR.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Monday, August 29th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect clear skies with a high of 90. Coming up on OTBOT, Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins the show up next to talk Saints. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Tuesday, 9 a.m. We do it every single week. It's your weekly Nick Underhill sit down where he gives you all the latest from the black and gold. And, well, it's a big one today, as it is 53 day. Going to decide who will be riding with this New Orleans Saints team into the regular season. And it comes off of a preseason game in which a lot of the borderline guys actually put their best foot forward. Who do you keep? Who do you leave behind? Let's break it all down with Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football, where him, Mike Triplett, Burt Kirktroffer, and the whole team do some excellent work. Nick, what up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you doing? Got to be a pretty insanely busy day. Any news to reveal thus far?
I mean, they made a couple of cuts last night. It's nothing major, like Jake Vargas, backup fullback. A couple other guys just way down on the frame, way down on getting the fullbacks out of there early, man. It's an extinct position. But no, I mean, look, the big ones are all going to come today. I mean, I think the big decisions are, a kicker. Some of the stuff at safety, Lonnie Johnson and Jonathan Abram. I think Andrews Pete was kind of somebody that was, I thought in the crosshairs a little bit. I've heard he's gonna make the team, but I mean, you never know. That stuff does change. Throughout the day, an opportunity comes up, something like that. It's always fluid, so I'm always reluctant to report those. But I mean, there's a handful of things circulating right now, but I really do think all eyes are on kicker. And if it were me, I would keep Will Lutz, but I'm feeling like that decision might go the other way. So we'll see how that one plays out.
Wow, Groupie may steal from that. I would never have had coming into camp. What I'm going to ask you about an LSU guy because he played very well the other night, but I don't understand why he was nowhere to be found on the 53-man projections on New Orleans Football from Sunday, or excuse me, maybe Monday morning. And that's Jontre Kirkland, right? He seemed to make special teams plays. He was a constant outlet in that final preseason game offensively. Certainly, I think he's done enough where somebody in the NFL is probably going to roster him, give him a chance, perhaps on something along those lines. But you don't expect Kirkland to make that wide receiver room, do you?
Look, I think he's done what he could to make an impression, to make the practice squad, and I think he's a very good candidate for that area. But as far as taking a spot from somebody on the 53-man roster, I don't see where that would come from. You got Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, Mike Thomas; those guys are locked in. I think A.T. Perry definitely makes the team, and then. If they go to 5, it probably starts out Traquan Smith. Traquan Smith goes on IR. Then Keith Kirkwood comes back. I think Keith Kirkwood has earned a spot on this team. And then even just kind of like keep going down. Like I think Shaq Davis is ahead of John Trey, but I do think that I don't think Shaq makes the team either. I'd be surprised if he's got a spot on the 53. I mean, it's just, you know, when you're keeping somebody like that, you got to know exactly how they're going to help you this year. Like Marquez Callaway, when they kept him, it was a very clear special teams role, and then, you know, grow into the contested catch guy the first year. And you know, I just don't see where Shaq fits into that vision where he's doing something that somebody else doesn't do. You know, I think you got A.T. Perry. Jimmy Graham's a contested catch guy too. Like, so I just don't see the path for him. But yeah, I think John Trey, look, he impressed me. He was better than I thought he was going to be when they, you know, you're a late signing in camp. Usually you aren't expecting a lot from those guys. I thought he came in, made a mark. He looks really good with the ball in his hands. You know, he's doing more at receiver than he has, you know, throughout his career. So I think it's a good spot for him to get on the practice squad. I would keep him. I think he's somebody worth developing and then kind of seeing where he's at a year from now. But, you know, as far as like, you know, it's the same thing. Like, what would the vision be for him to come in and very clearly help the team? Like, you know, they got better returners. They got a bunch of receivers that I think are a little bit ahead of him. So I think he just needs a little bit more time. But, yeah, I think he's on a good trajectory. Yeah. And if it's not the Saints practice squad, I think it's somebody else's. Like, I think he has a spot in the league this year.
Yeah, I agree with you there. What about returner? You mentioned it there. Rashid Shaheed, somebody that we assume is going to do some returning this year. Now he's going to be counted on in the offense as well, but he's been banged up. Can we see somebody else make this team to be the returner until he becomes fully healthy? Or, you know, maybe he's a part of the offense where they don't want to put him in harm's way and put him back there. Where are you at right now in kick and punt returner?
So I think it probably is him, but the one guy that kind of like they were using him back there, and every time he would get a chance to return, you know, there's just guys that pop from that spot, and I like Alontae Taylor, like they were using him back there a little bit, and every time he got the ball in his hands, it was just like, oh my God, like he's fast, he's fluid. I could see him having a chance to do some stuff there. Ugo Amadi, I think he's going to make the team. He was somebody that got some reps there too, so. There's a handful of guys. I think Rashid's going to be ready for week one though. Like he's been back around. He's practicing a little bit. You know, it looks like he's on the right path. And even when that injury happened, like, you know, we were told, hey, like there's no concern at all for week one. So I think he's going to be ready for it. And I think they do use him in that role. But yeah, there are a couple options there.
Lynn Bowden
role this year on the team is going to be, you know, interesting overall too. Like they're looking into maybe if the right offer comes along to trade Bradley Roby. There was a report out there. I heard the same thing yesterday. So. You know, I think if they get the right offer, they'd move him, and you know, I could see Taylor, you know, potentially being the starting slot corner week one if like the right offer comes for Bradley Roby.
Yeah, I feel like they've been pushing that or at least training him there for a while now. Nick, what about the tight end room? I don't hate to do it because that's what you do on 53-man day, but let's run it down because tight end room obviously with Taysom Hill factored in as some sort of pseudo tight end, Jimmy Graham really making a statement. In preseason game number 3, we all know about Morrow and obviously Juwan Johnson. Who all makes it there?
Everybody you just named. I think they keep all 4 of them.
Wow.
I think they got a good mix of guys. I think they're going to be, you know, a big part of the offense. You know, it's kind of wild, like saying that too. Like when we were talking about this team, you know, I don't know, March, April, you know, Tuesday mornings on here is just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, they've loaded up on receivers. Maybe we don't see as much 12 personnel as we've seen in the past. Maybe not as much 22. It might be, you know, a little bit more spread out, whatever. And then, you know, they just managed to piece together what I think is a pretty strong tight end room. And, you know, Juwan's obviously, I think, going to be the star of that group. But I think Jimmy's been a little bit better than I expected him to be. Like, he came in those first couple days and, man, you guys aren't from the Northeast, but if people from the Northeast, like, we used to wear these, like, boots called lugs, and they weighed, like, it was like having a cinder block on your foot. And, like, when he first came in, it looked like he was kind of running with some, like, Timberlands or lugs on. And, like, just over time, like, his feet have just gotten, you know, a little bit lighter, and he's moving better, and he's getting up a little bit more on some of these contested catches. And I think that's going to probably, you know, continue a little bit. I think there's a limit on, you know, how athletic Jimmy Graham can look, but he's making those plays, contested catches, was doing it in practice leading into this game. He looked pretty good out in the LA practices. Like he definitely, you know, I think I would go so far as, yeah, I think he's a lock to make the team, and I think he's a lock to contribute this year. Third down, you know, short yardage, red zone, all that stuff. So I think he's going to have a decent role on this team. You know, it might be 10 snaps a game or something, but they can be 10, 15 really valuable snaps. And, you know, I think Foster's been really good. Taysom's going to do the Taysom things. And like I said, I think Juwan has a chance to be like, you know, coming out of camp, like if you're like asking me to like do like the top 3 headlines, like I think the comfort between Derek Carr and Jawan Johnson is one of those top 3 headlines. I think that he's going to have a chance to, you know, put up some decent numbers this year.
Yeah, we've seen Derek Carr be very good with tight ends in the past. Nick, I know you're a journalist. I think that's where the J came from there. Something for you to look into. Jimmy Graham actually used to play basketball. I don't know if you.
Really?
Did you watch like when he posted that guy up in the end zone the other? I'm just something to explore. You might want to write like a piece on or something. I want to tell you how to do your job, but just a little lead there. So Jimmy Graham, Jimmy Graham could be considered a pleasant surprise. Has there been a more pleasant surprise though than getting a late addition Jalen Smith, who again isn't going to start, but like kind of perfectly fills a depth concern that you had?
I can't believe like how ably they were able to just kind of smooth that out, because linebacker was my biggest concern, like right up until the day they signed him, and then you go out there and see him and it's just like, oh, all right, like him compared to the other depth, like it's just there is a clear difference between him and everybody else, and yeah, I mean, I don't think he's starting or anything. I don't know, maybe he has a chance to, like if they go, you know, and base to start a game, like there's a chance he's out there at the Sam linebacker spot too. Like they were using him there the last few practices, so he might get some snaps there. But yeah, I think as far as like depth and everything, I'm amazed they were able to just kind of fill that spot so smoothly, like late into camp. Veteran guy. I mean, I don't think you want Jalen Smith exposed too much. If you can limit the exposure, use him in the right roles. Like I think he's a very good piece for this defense, and that alleviates, you know, I think my top concern, my you know, my final 2, like there's no way to fix them unless, I don't know, they go trade for Barnett, who I guess is apparently available. But like, I still think top end defensive end is a big concern for me. I like the rotation. I like the depth. I would just like one more like sure thing at that position. I don't know that they have it. Maybe they find the answer. And then the other one for me is left guard. Like if James Hurst is your starting left guard, you know, I think he's a very good like depth player, a good journeyman player. Like he's stuck around, he's smart, he's solid. But if he's a starter on your line, like that's just a spot where I think you could be a little bit better. So I think those are my 2 areas of concern going into the season. But linebackers off that list.
Nick, what about running back? We know AK is going to be out there at the beginning of the season. What does it look like behind him? We know Jamal Williams and Miller are going to make the squad. Who's that third running back?
Yeah.
I think it's Ellis Merriweather. I think he beats out Williams. I liked how he ran, you know, all throughout. You know, the one area of concern, I guess, like going into like I think you're limited in some of the AK stuff you could do if you go that direction the first 3 weeks of the season. I don't know if they would keep Kirk Merritt for those first 3 games just to get some of that versatility and maybe not limit your playbook. I don't know that you count on him for that, though, so maybe you just call your plays a different way. You know, Kendra has shown more and more as a pass catcher. Like he's kind of like really come on later and later into camp as it's gone on. You know, came out on like wheel routes and double moves and stuff. Like I'm surprised by his route running like this quickly, considering how limited he was there in college. But you know, I think they just lean really heavily on Kendra and Jamal Williams. And, you know, I'd say one thing, like us as a media, like we probably didn't do a good enough job talking about Jamal Williams throughout the summer, because it's just kind of like, you know, he's just been very solid running the ball. But, like, I like him a lot, and I like him more and more the more I see him. Like, his burst kind of stands out a little bit. So, I mean, and he has some pass-catching ability, too. I just think you're probably limited there a little bit early in the season. But I kind of think Merriweather has a chance to make the team. Undrafted guy out of UMass, like, just been really solid throughout camp. You know, shout out to Brooke. Like, she spotted him in, like, OTAs before I even knew who he was. And she's like, I think he's going to make the team. And, like, it's just kind of built from that. And the thing I kind of like about him the most is, like, every single day between every single rep, like, he is just in Alvin's pocket. And, like, you just see Alvin, you know, gesturing and, like, showing him how to do things. Like, so he's approaching it the right way, too. So he's kind of been a stand-up. If he doesn't make the team, I think he's an absolute practice squad guy. Maybe they use the standard elevation there to get him up there in those first 3 games.
A couple to close out here, Nick. Did you see enough from Trevor Penning this preseason?
Yes and no. I mean, there were signs of good things, and then, you know, other areas where it's like he's got to clean this up. The thing I like about him, though, is like when you see something that he needs to clean up, you kind of see it get cleaned up a little bit. But the exposures just haven't been big enough to really know. You know, like in the last preseason game, I was a little bit worried about how he was getting beat by speed a little bit. He was having some trouble with the Chargers. Man, I can't think of his name, number 45. But he was getting them with speed a handful of times. So, like, there are things that I think he's going to have to get better at. And I think you just got to hope that the guy he is in week 1 isn't the guy he is in week 17. Like, it's got to be week 18 now. I think it's somewhere he's going to have to keep making growth on the fly throughout the season. I do like the correction ability, but, that could be, maybe early on it could be, a slight issue. So I think that is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Tuli Tupulitu is the guy's name, by the way.
Tuli Tupulitu. Okay.
If I'm pronouncing it right.
Nick, last one here, and then we'll let you go because I know it's a very business morning unless you got any left. Jake, I want to revisit Groupie Lutz real quick because I do find that just kind of glossed over it. Seems like you're maybe getting some whispers that Groupie's going to be the guy over Lutz. Why? Like how? Because I haven't seen any like large statistical difference here. Is it a money thing? Is it a lack of trust from last year with Lutz? Like why would it be Groupie over Lutz?
Yeah, I'm just let me phrase that the right way. Like I don't know that I'm hearing whispers on it. It's just something that I kind of get a feeling that it's not like a sure thing in the incumbent's direction yet. Which, if you're going into the last day of it and it's still a little bit up in the air, it's kind of like the other guy's making it hard, and you could end up in that type of decision. So I'm not going to be surprised if it goes Groupie's direction. Like I said, I would go Lutz every day of the week.
So that's my point, though. Sorry to interrupt, but like the question remains. So like, what do you think they're seeing? Like, how has Groupie positioned himself even to be in that conversation then?
Groupie's been a beast, man. He hasn't done anything to lose it, and he's younger. He's definitely one of the best 32 kickers walking the earth right now. And, if you got one of those guys and your guy isn't one of the top 10, I think you just have to look at it and say, all right, like it can be really hard to end up with one of these guys. And, man, Saints fans know that. How long did it take them to get to Lutz? It was like a decade in the desert wandering looking for, an oasis, and all you found was mirages. Like, at some point, like if you have one of these guys in your building and he's much younger, and the incumbent missed the season with an injury and then had a shaky season coming back, and you got a young guy that's just kind of, really confident, hasn't done anything to lose the job, is taking advantage of every opportunity except the 60-yarder. I think that is a conversation that has to go down to the wire just out of respect for it. And, I don't think money's ever an issue with the Saints, and I don't think money should ever dictate a decision at kicker. We're talking about like saving $1 million if you let go of Lutz. But look, if you got a young guy who is cheaper, who is, you're confident in his ability and everything, it's something that you have to like seriously consider. And, like I said, I would keep Lutz just because I like the situation the team's in. You kind of know what he is. You know what the absolute floor is on him, I think. And they're kind of in a position where I don't think they can take risks. Like I would be doing everything like very, very, like, okay, like I'm minimizing my downsides here, but there is significant upside potentially with keeping the rookie kicker who looks like he probably is one of the 32 best walking the earth. Nick
Underhill, NewOrleans.football is the site. You're not going to find a better place for all of your Saints coverage. I'm a proud subscriber. I've been for a couple of years. I'd recommend you go check it out as well. Any deals or anything going down at the start of the season, Nick?
Yeah, 20% off until kickoff week 1 with the code 2023 kickoff.
There you go. Code 2023 kickoff, NewOrleans.football site. Nick, thank you so much. Now, get back to work. Go report.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Stuff. Remember the Jimmy Graham thing? All right, take it easy, Nick.
Tuli Pelotu.
Thank you. That was a nice swim move on Penning.
That's the second time Nick's been like, 45 for the Chargers. I don't really remember his name. Look, it's okay. Tuli Pelotu.
Well, I mean,
he's making the team.
You got some bigger name pass rushers up there. Shout out Tuli, but
his second-round pick.
No, I know, but I'm saying like you're still in the shadow of.
Do you think Nick? Just asking the question. Do you think he just wanted to say 45 because he didn't want to try to pronounce that name? It's a hard name.
No. I think
that's the second time he's done that. I'm just asking the question. It's not rhetorical.
Huh. I can see it. I mean,
look,
there's a world out there. I've done.
Trust me when I say I have done that before, and I will continue to do it.
Everybody always said DJU last year, like cowards.
Uyangalele is not that difficult.
Uyangale.
No, you forgot a lay in there.
Uyangale. DJ.
It's Lale.
Uyangalele.
Uyangalele.
Lale.
Uyangalele.
Uyangalele. His name is my name too.
I don't know why you do it with a With like a Hawaiian accent.
Yeah, whenever I go out.
No, I don't mind though doing it with a Hawaiian accent. I just always heard that it was supposed to be le.
It is.
Not
People-
lele.
Yeah, DJ Uyunglele.
Always shout,
Lele, yeah.
there goes DJ Uyunglele.
Well, I know.
La, 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 la.
Are we here? Are
Yeah.
you hearing the difference in between what we're saying?
Yeah.
No,
I'm saying lele.
it's two lays at the end. I do not hear the difference.
It's lele,
Okay, no,
not
I
two
don't know.
lays.
I don't know. You could be right. I've always heard that it's lele. Is it spelled the same? Is it Leilei? Or is it Lelei?
It's Lelei.
Yeah, see, I think it's lele, not lele.
Okay.
Uyunglele.
Lele.
Lele. Yeah, there we go.
Hey!
Money in the bank.
His name is my name too.
John Jacob.
Also, why did the Chargers
Himes.
cut Duggan? Taylor was telling me he did not.
Yeah,
make the
Max
team.
Duggan got waived by the Chargers.
It looks like they're only going to keep 2 quarterbacks,
Mm-hmm.
which, you got to be careful there. You got to be careful. Now, Herbert did play through, like, whatever rib situation he had last year. I mean, he's out there throwing left-handed at the end of the game and still played.
I would start Tyrod Taylor.
Well,
For the
that's
Giants?
And then stab him in the chest right
Well,
before
that's
the
the
game.
thing.
again.
Like
Get some
Herbert
juice.
was probably scared to go to the doctor for the rib injury because that's what happened to Tyrod Taylor.
Next
I don't
to
blame him for playing through.
Next to the mascot running over Adrian McPherson, that's like the craziest NFL injury to me. Like
it's
the
gotta
team
be.
doctor who's
It's gotta
paid to, care for the players almost ends Tyrod Taylor's career.
That's crazy.
Stabs him in the lung. Like
Something always happens to Tyrod Taylor because like he's always good when he gets the start, but like he just had bad luck. Like he got the injury in the Thursday night game. Baker came in, led him back to the win. Well, that was his team. He was playing actually pretty well for the Chargers. Has a freak, injury with his doctor. Justin Herbert comes in. Like poor dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
with the
done well,
Giants
though. He's
now.
maximized, though.
Well, no,
Tyrod
I mean,
Taylor
yeah.
is, a bit of always bridesmaid, never the bride, but
I do feel
he's
you, though.
still a bridesmaid.
Even when he,
He's
it
still
looks
on
like
stage.
I
he
mean,
has
look,
a
he's
chance.
playing football. He's made a lot of money. Yeah, but it's just like it's kind of tough break after tough break for the guy.
I agree.
he's a hero in Buffalo. Wrote that playoff drought. It belongs to the Jets now.
True. It's a good point. Shout out Tyrod Taylor. All right, when we get back, more OTB.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer. Unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walk.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
Henniger, join us for the next edition of Live at Lunch from Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. We'll take a look back at what Brian Kelly said about Florida State, and it's cut down day in the NFL. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Boys hanging out with you today. Cade York cut from the Browns. Crazy. Had a good year last year. Had an okay year. But, I mean, he had the year that Will Lutz had, 75% overall. I think he was like 5 of 7 from 50+, but in classic York fashion, I think the closer kicks are maybe what got him into a bit of trouble. But just wild. I mean, that's a draft pick. Nash finished 15 of 19 from 15+ at LSU, which is absolutely insane considering that the NFL rate, which are easier to hit 50-yarders because it's a narrower hash. Is the goalpost narrower too, though? Actually, I never considered that. So maybe it's not easier. But the NFL rate from 50+ is about 50%. And he was 15 of 19 at LSU. Just, I don't know, crazy, man. The end can come quickly. Traded for Justin Hopkins.
Yeah. Chargers had 2 kickers, and so they got a draft choice for one of them. Cameron Dicker is going to be the kicker for the Chargers.
Oh, from Texas.
Yeah, there you go. But Dicker the kicker, yes. Yes, there you go, Mario.
Remember an Adam Zucker highlight from back in the day where he hit some big game-winning kick freshman year, and it was.
But the good thing, like, it's not that
Dicker, the freshman kicker.
It's
I feel like
not,
you only see Zucker during football season. What does he do the rest of the year?
I don't know. He just hangs out.
I interviewed him on Snaps one time. He loves frisbee golf, and then I think he just shows up come fall time, and all of a sudden he's just dominating your Saturday in the studio every day.
Yeah, very recognizable voice. It's okay though. I mean, kickers are going to get opportunities. Like. I told you all this 1,000 times. Every Monday, like there's kickers out there for every NFL team that are trying out. So you'll get another opportunity.
Yeah, but it's still like, how many jobs are actually available?
There'll be a kicker that misses 3 in a row, and it will be available. That's the nature. Like, it is so hard. Like what Will Lutz has done with the Saints, and now he's looking like he might be on the chopping block to stay a team's kicker, man, because you have no loyalty at that position. If you're bad for any stretch, you're gone. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It does not matter who you are, how long you've been there. Outside of Seabass in Oakland, everybody is going to get cut after like a 4-year run, it feels like. And that's a hell of a run for a kicker.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference is with the Lutz situation is he's still been really good during this preseason. It seems like York has maybe had the yips. But Browns fans, as upset as you may be, you can always thank Cade York for ending the Browns' 18-year first game of the season losing streak.
Goal attempt by the rookie from LSU. Snap back. He's into it. Line drive. End over end. The kick is up, and it is. It is! It is gone! And York has a field goal from 58 yards out with 8 seconds left to go in the ball game.
Oh, man. That's a happy moment. That sucks. It's a crazy way to start your career and then be out a year later. A 58-yard game-winning field goal.
That's brutal.
He'll bounce back, I think.
Yeah, he'll get another opportunity. He'll make a team here in a couple days.
Also, Browns fans really thought it was all coming together, didn't they? I mean, new era. Here we go. Deshaun and the boys. Not so fast. Cleveland.
The mistake by the lake.
Just the whole city?
That's what they call it. Not me. I didn't make that up.
It feels disrespectful. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's there.
You say that every time we say Cleveland.
I don't know anything else about Cleveland. I know
Drew Carey?
that John Rockefeller started his business there, I believe, or at least an office there. He lived there for a while, and I know that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is there. Is Drew Carey from there?
Yeah. Cleveland Rocks. You watched the Drew Carey show back in the day?
No, it was before my time.
Cleveland Rocks.
The only Drew Carey I ever watched was Whose Line Is It Anyway, where all the points are made up and nothing matters. Good show, though. Whose Line Is It Anyway? Very
He
good show.
finishes the Cleveland Rocks with Ohio. No, nothing.
No, I'm telling you, I don't know anything about the Drew Carey show. I know less than nothing about the Drew Carey show.
That's pretty good.
I'm sure it was. Drew Carey's very successful. I mean, look at the amount of money he got paid for. Price is Right. It is Price is Right.
Mm-hmm.
He took over from Bob, right?
Yep.
Actually, let's look up how much Drew Carey makes. Scott Dicey, that would have been good from 70. Yeah, then Cade York had it, man. 90%.
He's not dead. He'll get another opportunity.
I mean, but y'all tell me he had the yips. Y'all tell me he was clipping at like a 50% rate this preseason.
I'll look at his exact numbers.
I don't know if he can just fix that.
He'll be okay.
Yeah, and then what? You're going to go against Will Lutz, who made like a 90% this season, like when he becomes available? Like,
he'll be okay. He's a 4th-round pick as a kicker. One of the best probably the best kicker in LSU history. He'll be okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, championship season.
Dude, from the Florida kick alone.
Yeah, and the Florida kick.
You couldn't even see the goddamn uprights.
Yeah. No, look, I will always love that was his trench run, his Luke Skywalker moment. It was awesome. When we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Kate Wazan inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the next edition of Louisiana Prep Weekly. This week's special guest is Struma head football coach Sid Edwards. Louisiana Prep Weekly, Wednesday nights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I got new fire, I got new tires, I'm too live, you know it makes me sick. It's only you that makes me
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Hey, get that picture of the giant alligator ready to go from the document. Huh. This guy Des says, fun fact, I'm Eskimo brothers with Trent Reznor. That's pretty cool.
Congratulations.
If you read the Marilyn Manson biography and the weirdness that him and Trent Reznor were getting up to back in the day.
Who?
What?
Who?
Trent Reznor.
Who's that?
9 Inch Nails lead singer. Also became like just a very successful
I'm kidding.
Composer. Social Network.
Yep.
He did
I
Soul
thought
with
you were being
John.
serious, because if I would have asked, I would have been serious. I had no idea who Trent Reznor is.
Well, like there's a great documentary, Johnny Cash documentary, where he's heavily in it.
Okay.
So
I mean, I know
that
9
might
Inch
be
Nails. I just didn't know who
that
their
might
lead
be
singer was.
a way for you to know him. Yeah.
Bruce Feldman has his top 10 assistants in the country. Let me know when we got the alligator picture as well. I'm trying to think. There's something else I think. Was that okay? You got it. Okay, so real quick before we get to Feldman, you got to look at this thing, dude.
Oh God, this thing's.
This is from Mississippi.
That's a goddamn dinosaur.
As apparently dinosaurs are alive and well. This crew, if you're watching at youtube.com/1045 ESPN, you see what I'm talking about. If you're listening on the radio, again, this is a alligator that is a record 14 feet 3 inches long, 802 pounds. I mean, that thing does not look real. That looks like something out of a fantasy or video game, or I don't know, whatever you want to say. The guy said it took 7 hours to catch him. Just fighting this primordial beast for 7 hours before finally getting him in.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that thing. That is what's the? Somebody's gonna correct me quickly. Is it over 7 foot long? Like you're okay to get rid of it because obviously what it could do.
It's
really?
It's
Is
either
that the
7
rule?
or 8.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
I know I'm being soft a little bit. It means like, man, it's such like a majestic giant creature. Should have maybe left it living in the wild, but you know, thing could eat a house. So.
Yeah. That's swallowing something.
Yeah,
not even eating it.
I mean, maybe the
Well, I mean,
standard.
how often are people swimming where this homie's swimming?
Yeah,
Probably not that often.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I hope not.
Yeah, true.
I would.
I
I
don't want to be
too.
swimming where he's swimming.
Well, the FWCC says that if it's at least 4 feet in length and the caller believes it poses a threat to people, pets, or property, then you can get rid of it.
Oh, I thought it was 7.
No, maybe in
4.
Louisiana it's just a different standard, like I said. But like,
look, there's
Man,
you know
4
whatever.
foot. You keep those in your bathtub.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's there are plenty of people who know way more about ecology and everything else. And if wildlife fisheries gives it the thumbs up, then that's all good to go. That's a pretty majestic beast right there. It always makes me think though, right? The old Star Wars adage, there's always a bigger fish. Like that may be the record, but it still ain't the biggest. There's somebody out there. There's an alligator out there that's still even bigger than that. Some primordial dinosaur crew.
No telling how old it is.
Crawling around.
It's just been going from swamp to swamp, river to river, lake to lake.
I wonder if if you can get the could I buy boots specifically made from the world
From
record
that old
alligator?
fella.
Yeah, like do you market it as
You spend a pretty penny, I would imagine.
No, I'm sure, but have you ever seen that before, Taylor? Like, do they market it as like these came from the biggest alligator
I've
ever
never
caught?
seen it.
Seems like a
but
good
I
idea.
also haven't looked, so it may be out there.
It's going from Hercules.
I need that tail. Try to get super powerful, like when some old Chinese traditions where they like eat snakes for boners.
yeah,
Be
probably
doing the same thing.
Like dark web, black market, you'd probably find that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah. Bada bing, bada boom says that's an old gator. We had a pet gator, got to 7 feet and had to get rid of her. 7 feet? Whoo! Now, don't alligators do that weird thing where they'll grow into their habitat? Like they'll stay small if you keep them in an enclosed space?
No, I don't know that fun
Am I
fact.
crazy? I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like I'm just pulling that out of nowhere. I do remember Chase Claymont, who we actually had in studio the other day, got into a bit of hot water as he was keeping an alligator in his WCA bathtub for a while.
So which
is the most Cajun thing I've ever
Craig
heard.
Stelz did as well.
Wow.
Yeah, Stelzy had one in our
Can't help
dorm.
themselves.
Yeah.
But why? It's the old Ryan Reynolds meme. But like, what's the end game?
So when
With
it's
the
Florida,
alligator in the bathtub.
when it's Florida week, what are they doing with the alligator?
It's not like they're abusing or anything. They loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it. It was his pet.
I mean, Stelzy I think it might have been like he actually saw it, and I think he got it and was just like keeping it there until he found out what to do with it, and then he took it to the lakes.
Okay.
And put it back in the lakes.
Ava Marzwani says, what's crazy is it's a normal-sized saltwater crocodile. Is that true? What's the largest saltwater crocodile
anywhere?
world?
So I'm looking
Largest?
right now, at least here in Louisiana, the largest alligator ever recorded here, 19 feet 2 inches.
That's 2 stories tall.
19 feet?
Like that's
19
2
feet 2 inches.
stories tall.
Okay, look up world's largest saltwater crocodile, and then look at this picture of Lolo from the Philippines, 23 feet 3 inches.
Lolo,
a thick boy, caught back in 2011. Damn, that's pretty wild. I guess we didn't get.
I wonder
to
how
Michelle
old
with
that.
the top 10 coaches.
Yeah, but I wonder how old that gator is. Just like it's been living its life. Like I said, it's just bouncing around, and then like for 7 hours, It's just out there fighting.
Yeah, like 30 to 50 years it says they can live. So
that's an old gator, Bo.
Yeah. Damn, I'd be so pissed. I'm just like eating lunch and somebody just hooks me, starts trying to catch me. Like, what the hell, bro? Just trying to have a sandwich, man. Trying to eat these fish, birds. Yeah.
So could this be an omen too? Should I take Florida money line against Utah?
Yeah, if it was in
well,
Florida,
no,
it's in
the
Mississippi,
gator got caught.
and he got caught.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah.
I'd go Utah in the points.
If we look up any stories of gators killing people, specifically Mormons, I would say that would maybe indicate a money line bet.
Here's your crocodile. Like full length.
Oh my God. Look at that thing. It looks like a snake. That's a fat boy, though.
Yeah, that's all tail.
Your legs don't even touch the ground. Oh, fat ass croc.
Oh, tail having.
Even though saltwater croc's terrifying, super aggressive, kill you in a second. A lot of cool Planet Earth saltwater croc footage out there. All right. Did we just fall back into animal facts by accident for a day?
I think we did.
Shout out. Everybody hit the like button. Let's get to 100 likes. Yeah. All right, when we get back, Ask the Bench. I do want to remind you real quick, download DraftKings Sportsbook app. College football finally back. If you use the promo code Baton Rouge, if you're new sign up, promo code Baton Rouge, you bet $5 on any college football game, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's right. It hits the account right away. Also, remember that now there's DraftKings Sportsbook right here in the city if you're going to go check it out. Jake, what do you bet on this weekend?
Oh, okay. Everything. Literally everything. You've got every European soccer league. You've got college football. You still have the MLB. It is now a great time. I mean, you got tennis going on at a very high level, so many different options to choose from.
Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. Ask the bench next.
OTB, OT.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. 3 tonight, so do it twice. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Whether you want a big old truck, maybe a sedan, maybe a minivan, a hybrid, an SUV, it's all there for you at All-Star Toyota. The best people, most importantly, the best selection. Renting, new, used. The website, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, is a great way to kind of start to peruse a selection if you want, or just go see them off of Airline Highway, man. Walk-ins always welcome, and they do an excellent job finding you and your family exactly what you need. Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Yeah, go to the website, and you can customize that new vehicle now. You can add, you can take away, whatever you want. You choose the color. You can choose the wheels like T-Bob did. That's why we went black on black on black. You can get the Stormtrooper look that I'm trying to get in one of those 4Runners that I saw on the road. You can do that. It is up to you. Like, it is customized to whatever you want it to look like. And so go ahead, go to the website today. You can find those per day rental prices as well. AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Poll.
Hey, it's on. Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll have Glenn West talking Tigers, Sharif Ishak on the Saints, and my guy Brandon Taylor from the LSU Sports Radio Network. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Welcome back to OTB. It's time for a little Ask the Bench brought to you by Cold Kurzlat, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat. Jake. Henry Bennett wants to know, ask Hester, were you in on throwing the playoff game in 2003 at Evangel? Looks like your former teammate's a little disgruntled. I don't know what this is in reference to.
2003. I don't know what former teammate you're talking about. Definitely not throwing a game.
Who would have been the quarterback?
No, the quarterback was the coach's son.
I wonder who'd be
disgruntled. I don't know. We lost to Hanville. I got an MVP of the game.
Hell yeah.
Caught a 75-yard touchdown and also returned a pick six about 60 for a tutter. I wasn't throwing it.
Big me guy, dude.
I was giving you an example of how I could not
MVP in a loss. Unbelievable.
I didn't know you played.
I don't think anybody ever actually thought that Jake Hester threw anything. I don't think you had to.
I was just letting you know. I tried my hardest to win that game.
I was about to say, I don't think anybody ever doubted that.
So I got in trouble for that game. So
because you tried to throw it. Never mind. I was wrong.
So they were about to take a knee, and it was gonna be real close if the time ran out or not. And I'm playing Mike Backer, and I time it up perfectly.
You Shiano it?
I jump over the line, tackle the quarterback, and I'm trying to do everything I can. The referee tried to belittle me. How dare you try to do what you just did? This game's over, and I blacked out on this referee. I got a 15-yarder, but I was like, are you kidding? It's a state championship game.
Yeah.
I'm going to try everything I possibly can to run and jump over this line to win this game. The game's over. No, it's not. There's 50 seconds left.
So you all lost in state to Hanville?
That's why you look like melted candle wax.
Good Tigers.
Hanville was great that year.
Ask the Bench, favorite way to eat gator? Sausage, boudin, fried, and jambalaya?
Ooh, all the above. I love gator.
Fried. Shout out to Rufino's. They do really good fried gator.
I like sausage.
I like it all, yeah.
It's weird. It's not like I dislike gator, but I'm also never like, ooh, I want some gator. But if it's at the tailgate or whatever, I'll eat it. And yeah, so I like it in all forms. But yeah, I never reach for gator, which is interesting.
If it's on the menu as an appetizer and I trust the place and I know they're going to do it well,
really?
I'll always order it, yeah.
Okay. Is it because you hate Florida though, or is that
Maybe. Maybe just not even knowing that I do it, you know?
I do want to remind you, go to RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore Me or Fuel Me, Rejuve Me. Okay, locations in Baton Rouge, Metairie, Slidell, now Shreveport as well. More of you mean a second. Okay, Henry Bennett follows up. Ask Hester. It was Parker who put that on social media, said he purposely dropped passes because he hated the coach. Bro, you cannot be throwing a state game because you hate the coach. You can hate the coach and not want the coach to have success, and I feel that, but like you got a bigger responsibility to your homies.
Oh man, now I gotta go do some
you got some
research.
stuff to figure out now, bro. You might have gotten screwed over a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Ava Marzawanian asked the bench, I ordered my wife's birthday gift over a week ago. It keeps getting delayed, and now it won't arrive till after her birthday tomorrow. What do I do? Oh, my God, dude.
Man.
Screwed.
Yeah, like, check your heart. You living right? Like, what are you doing? What's going on there?
Sucks, Avo.
That does suck. All jokes aside, you got to print that off. Hey, look.
Doesn't matter.
Look.
No, not going to work.
You're in trouble. It doesn't matter. But here's the order date, okay?
You can do that in addendum to a last-second shift of a present. Maybe think experience, right? Yeah, like an inn, like maybe like a nice stay somewhere for a night, or like a really good meal, weekend getaway, something along those lines. You need to come up with something fast, though. And then you'll get credit. That sucks, Ava. You know what doesn't suck? Rejuvenate Medical. Maybe HRT's for you, maybe it's not. The point is, if you want to feel younger, you want to fight the aging process like mood and memory problems, insomnia, erectile dysfunction, any sexual dysfunction, confidence, facial aging, all of this, Rejuvenate can help fix, right? And they're the absolute best. And it's not a one-size-fits-all deal. Go in there, get your labs drawn, understand aging, let them coach you through it, and understand how you're aging, and specifically how to combat it, restore me, refuel me, Rejuvenate. I love Rejuvenate Medical. Ask the bench. Oh, what? Come on, chat. Jake, what's it like having a tradition started because of you, Mr. 18?
I don't think it was because of me. I think it was because of a lot of people. It certainly became like, I think a little bit more of a thing like when you pass it to Richard, because like the media kind of got a hold of it more than where I think it was just at the beginning. It wasn't the same thing. But yeah, now we're all in the same boat. I mean, we all get a chance to wear it. We all get a chance to celebrate who gets it the next season. So I'll tell you this though, for me, like being a part of something like that at a school that doesn't retire numbers, it just doesn't. Like there's only one retired. Like it is cool to be a part of a tradition that means so much to so many people, and I get to share it with 15 different guys.
That's cool.
53, Lance Hurd.
Sharon 18.
53, Lance Hurd.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Continue the tradition. New traditions.
OTB.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Philly Buster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips